Good evening, everybody. Welcome to all the ladies, gentlemen, children, pets, whoever's watching at the moment. And welcome to the VRA GTCC, our Grand Touring Club Cup, Round 8. And you are between the lakes at Interlagos in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It is very sunny, which is more than can be said for where I am right now. We have a track temperature of 24 degrees. It is clear. It is ever so slightly windy. And it is going to be an excellent race. We have, it was at the last check, 33 cars. It's 34 cars now, which is excellent. And in the booth with me tonight, I have Mr. Bill Switzer.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome.
Tyler Newitt's in here as well. Good evening, Tyler.
Hello, everybody.
And Sam is on the cameras. Good evening, Sam.
And good evening, everybody.
We're waiting for our usual 3,000 people to join us and watch the stream and comment and have a great time tonight. But they'll be here eventually, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, 30, whatever I said a minute ago, 34 cars. Bit of controversy regarding what iRacing's done with the BMW Z4. We don't have any Lamborghinis racing tonight because that's going to come in the future. We'll talk about all of that in a little bit. But for now, we have qualifying, and everybody's just piled out of the pits, getting ready to do their initial laps and do some drafting, no doubt, because some drafting is good around Interlagos. And we'll talk about the track in a moment. Interlagos, Bill. What's your take on Interlagos? You like it?
Yeah, I like it. Interlagos doesn't like me, but that's the way it goes. I find the elements of this track pretty good. I mean, it's got a tremendous high-speed areas. It's got a twisty bit that you got kind of a technical kind of area so it's kind of a mixture of all. It's got tight turns. It's got wide turns. It's got elevation change. All the important factors. And I think it's got an iconic corner coming off the front straightaway, curve of one down through that little loop-de-loo there. You're tearing in there like crazy. Kind of an off-camber downhill, left-hand corner. It is truly amazing, and I mean, you're flying when you come into that too. So you see a lot of guys go off the road there. It's got a very unusual pit road. I've been known to spin out on pit road, believe it or not, but it's a tricky place. But I think it's a great track for what we've got on the track tonight, the GT3 guys. So should be interesting. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a very exciting race. Tyler, what's your opinion on Interlagos?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Big fan of Interlagos. When in the old F1 games, when I would test out, if I wanted to test out cars, I would compare them at Interlagos because it's kind of got a bit of everything. It's got a nice mix of slow speed and high speed corners, medium speed corners, and it does have that long. It's not really a straight because it kind of goes around a couple of bends, but you can really get the cars up to speed as you head up the hill into turn one. So I think it's a really neat track. I like a track with a bit of elevation to it, and Interlagos certainly has that. I think the kind of turn 1, 2, 3 complex is one of the most fun in racing, especially when you get it right. And in these cars, you can really get it right. You can take a lot of curb in turn 2, which is, in my opinion, the best way to do it. So, yeah, I think it should be a good race.
Yeah, so it's the center S's, it's turn 1 and turn 2. And I think it's Curve del Sol, or Sun Curve, a curve of the sun, which is turn 3. So, yeah, they're very, very technical. The wider you take all of those, the better you get drive. I am a big fan of Interlagos, a lot like Tyler and Bill. I've had some good races around here. I've had some absolute disasters, though, because you can pick up a lot of incident points around here. If you do certain turns wrong, certain turns being turn 3, which is where are we here with Ty Simons? Oh no, we're further around the track than that. Yeah, the Descida de Largo, which is turn 4. Yeah, I'm going to go with 4. It's the slow second gear downhill corner that leads you onto the sweep corners. In the infield, if you want to call it that. I know it's not oval before anybody corrects me, but brilliant track, great for endurance races. Done a few around here actually, and quite an exciting sprint race course, which I found out when I was doing GTE recently. So yeah, it's highly exciting. Do we know what sort of strategy we're looking at yet, Tyler, or have you not got your calculator out yet?
I don't know. It's a good question. I actually did quite a bit of driving around here. I volunteered to do some checks on the balance of performance, but I didn't do any runs long enough to get a sense of the strategy. So I think we're going to have to wait and see what exactly goes on. I do know that there was some intent from iRacing to increase the tire wear a bit with this latest build, so that double stinting would be a little bit trickier. Obviously, a full stint in these cars is about an hour, so a true double stint with full tanks, that is. I think we run a limited tank in this series. So
yeah, we do. Yeah.
So a full double stint on the tires would be longer than the race today at about 2 hours. So I'd imagine drivers will not have to take tires over the course of the race, but some people who maybe went a bit too aggressive on the setup, since they've only really had less than a week to get it right, since iRacing put the new patch in, they might find themselves struggling and really having a tough time on their tires come the end of the race.
Yeah, and obviously our esteemed leader, Clyde White, isn't here today, so we've got less to laugh about than normal, but I'm sure we'll find some other action. But you've mentioned it now, Tyler, so you might as well talk about it. iRacing have chinned off the Z4 as a current car, in inverted commas. They've made it a legacy vehicle. They didn't update it in the same way, or even at all, I'm not sure. I'm sure you'll tell us about that in a second. And the introduction of the Lamborghini and the lack of introduction of the replacement BMW. So do you want to talk us through what you found when you took each of these cars around the track after the builds?
Sure, yeah. I think I don't have any information to back this up because it wasn't in their release notes, but I'm pretty sure that iRacing did some changes to the BMW Z4. There's some new setups on the car, and I hadn't driven it in a while, so I can't say if it felt like it used to, but it definitely seems in line with the updated GT3s, which iRacing has said they reworked from the ground up. And I believe it, the way some of them drove and felt. It was a lot better than I remembered. I think the new tire model iRacing has done a really good job, and the other thing they've been doing is providing what they're calling competitive setups for all of the cars now. So as an effort to kind of get everybody a bit closer together, they've given each of these cars, they always have had high, medium, and low downforce setups, but now they've given for each downforce level a sprint and an endurance setup as, in theory, competitive baselines. So I'd imagine, obviously, the quick drivers, the pro drivers who spend a lot of time practicing and setting up their cars are going to be some distance away from iRacing's new setups, but I'd imagine a lot of drivers in this field are utilizing those new baseline setups to a significant extent. And in the testing I didn't test all of the cars, but I found them to be pretty nice to drive and pretty on pace competitively. So I think we should see the field perhaps a little bit tighter than we might on some other weeks with these new cars the way that they are. So I drove the Audi, the Lamborghini, which we're not going to see today, the McLaren, the Mercedes, and the Z4. So in my opinion, if I was to pick a car from that lot to compete with today, I would probably pick the Audi. It seemed to be, around here, the most competitive. All the cars I tested were within a really reasonable couple of tenths windows. But I would probably have picked the Audi. If I was picking a car for this season, I probably would have picked the McLaren because it felt like it had the most kind of potential to go with, but I don't know that it's particularly well suited for Interlagos. That said, Ty Simons currently sits first overall in a McLaren, so clearly he's put some work into the setup of that car and found something around here that is working for him. He's got a couple of tenths, and actually looking at the top three, it's three different manufacturers, which is really nice. We've got a McLaren, a Ferrari, and an Audi all in the top three represented, and the BMW and Mercedes. None of the pros, it looks like, are driving the Mercedes today, which is not totally surprising. It did seem like the gearing in the Mercedes wasn't super well suited for Interlagos. There were a few places where I was, first gear was too short, but second gear was too tall. So I'm not totally surprised as we see Stefan Goebel, who is driving a Mercedes, one of our AM drivers, and he's actually pretty high up the field. So I think we're going to see a pretty competitive race today. I think particularly among those AM drivers, we see currently separated the top 3 in that class by just a few, or just within a tenth of a second from Ben Cullen to Daniele Guidici. So I think it should be pretty competitive. I hope that I covered everything, because that was quite a rambling little monologue I had there.
No, it was really informative from my perspective. Anyway, there was a lot of information there. It was brilliant. We do have one pro driving a Mercedes, and that's Sami Baito, but he's not on track at the minute, so we're not going to show him. What it has done with the Z4 issue, in inverted commas, is it's put more people in the McLaren, which is brilliant, because that's more places to get your marshmallows cooked when you get the fire out of the back.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's brilliant. What do you think for the race today, Bill? Do you think that Tice Simons is going to have anybody take it to him or not?
Well, I think there's a question there that it's a possibility, but as we know, Tice Simons has, over the last few races, he's virtually, I don't want to say unbeatable, but boy, he's put the hammer down and done a great job, I have to say. But we've got a lot of people that are very capable of, ruining his day, so to speak. And the scenario that Tyler gave us was very, very well done and really very interesting. But as far as all the things that make it a little more difficult, a little more things you got to think about for like fuel and those kind of things, I think the more they do that, the better. I mean, if you make it too easy, everybody can do it. You know what I mean? Sometimes sometimes you have to take a chance. Sometimes you have to take a gamble. I mean, Wednesday, it was yesterday when, God, well, that's what happens when you retire or you're a pensioner. You forget what day it is. But anyway, Tyler yesterday pulled a win out when he was kind of surprised he didn't, because he was going to, because of a fuel strategy thing, really. I mean, somebody pitted, I guess, a lap earlier than you, Tyler. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it made the difference in the world. You had enough gas to, choke your way across, while who ran out? Stewart, right? Stewart Dick ran out of gas. So all those things factor into these endurance type races, and the more they put in there, the better. I mean, a lot of guys whine and complain about safety cars and all this other stuff. And when you're on the short end, I can totally understand the whining, but it makes it a hell of a lot more interesting than 10 guys slinging around here all the same, no changes. I think it's great, and I hope they keep doing it.
I think you're sorry to jump in, Pete, but you're very much right there, Bill, that the more strategy elements you can introduce, the better. Although I think the key strategic element here is not going to be fuel strategy, but rather tire strategy, because that was the one, I would say, the biggest variable in the testing that I did. Was there were some cars that were really kind to their tires. There was one car in particular that massively wore the front end, or the front tires out. And there was the Audi, actually, that was pretty brutal on its rear tires. Yeah. So I think as this race goes on, you're going to see different drivers and different cars start to struggle differently with the tires, but everybody's going to start to struggle just a little bit. And when it comes down to it for the final pit stop, does anybody take tires? Yeah. I think it's going to be a new element, because as far as I know, the strategy for this series has always been one set of tires start to finish, and I think that might not be the best option here today.
Yeah, well, my little speech was in general, basically. I wasn't talking about today, but I'm glad you added that, because I think it's going to be a new learning experience for guys that got comfortable in that Z4, which is going to go away. It's like a new learning curve now, and I mean, I'm too old to do that, but a lot of these guys can handle it. So it's I agree with you. I mean, there's another element, tire wear. So like you said, we haven't really had to worry too much about that. In the lower class, yes, the BMW GT4 has a tendency to, if you run it like hell and abuse it, I mean, in 5 or 6 laps, your front tires are gone. So it's just, that's the only thing I've seen in that. But that's one of the newer cars. So I see that the newer tires and the changes that they're making to these cars affect those kind of things, which I think is brilliant. I mean, it makes the guys that really use their head, get the best that they can out of it. And I think that's great.
It is, and someone who can't release himself, can't let go of the BMW Z4, is our untamed racing driver, the Stash. So we're gonna bring in Stashy and get him to do his track guide for you, which I was lucky enough to commentate on just the other day. Sam, do you have that to hand?
Yeah, of course I have. Let's go.
Good evening and welcome to another video from the Stash. This time the Stash is at Sao Paulo's greatest. It is Interlagos, between the lakes, and Stash is out in his Z4 again. He's not letting this car die, even though it's just been made a legacy item by iRacing. Interlagos is a fantastic track. It's a power track and a technical track, and hopefully Stashy here can get around the track without binning it. And stay on the racing line, give us a decent lap. I don't know what the track temperature was, because I wasn't there. I'm stuck in the north of England, where it is significantly worse weather than what you're seeing on the screen right now. We've got some pretty technical turns on here, and the Stash is just making his way around the final corner, past the longest pit lane in eternity. It carries on forever. It's certainly the longest entrance. And we go firing across the start-finish line into the centre S's here. Big overtaking opportunity right here. Don't spin it on the corner. Get a load of this curb and a load of the next one as well if you can. Don't spin off inside and don't run outside because you'll get mullered. This is the Curva de Sol. And outside this one there, there's X's, there's speeding penalties. There's all sorts of goblins to get you down there, as there is here in Descida del Lago. It's a tight turn in, a lower gear than you think actually, then get on the gas, don't run wide there, like I said, lots of hobgoblins to trip you up and give you time penalties. So up here we go, up the hill. This is a double right-hander. It feels very strange the first few times you do it, but stick it into that corner there, and then tuck it into this very tight right-hander here. This is turn 9 coming up, Pinarino, and then back on that gas. Up the hill here, keep going, lots of power. There's loads of heavy acceleration points on this track. It's one of the tightest turns on the track. Then we come round to Mugello, which is at turn 11, and we're setting ourselves up now. Don't go too wide here, by the way, to Junção, which is this left-hander here. Lots of curb again. Get on the gas good and early, because this is where you're going to get absolutely done if you're slow. There'll be lots of cars being left behind. Don't run wide here. That bit of grass on the right hand side is pure evil. And then fire it back through the pit lane entry there. You don't get a penalty for that. And back over the line. And the Stash has done a fantastic job there, to be honest. It was a good lap. He got very close to the edge of the track just there, tucking into the centre S's. That was a fantastic effort, and hopefully we'll see lots of decent races. You can quit that right now, Stash. No flashing lights on this show. It has to be said. Warming your tyres after the lap. You really want to be doing that? Okay, it's up to you. So we should see... I've told you already, Stash. Stop it. We should see lots of overtaking here. Lots of sends as well. Interlagos, although it is a fantastic track, it does honestly, I'm going to lose my temper with you in a minute, Stash, and just stop talking. So, as I was trying to say, lots of sends you'll see here because it is a power track. There's heavy braking zones, and it's just too tempting for some people. He's doing a bit of showing off now, I think, or he's just annoyed. I think he's annoyed because they're getting rid of the BMW. Is that right? Probably is, you know. So he'll have to get over it just like everybody else. He can choose the Lambo next time, can't you, Stash? Maybe not. Yeah, don't do that because it's not advised, and you probably will get a penalty for this one. So he's just being a bit silly now. So we'll talk about the race. So yeah, lots of discussion, seeing as iRacing have binned off this car and made it a legacy item with no updates, which is probably a bit of a mistake, and they were probably forced into it by somebody. But yeah, we've got the Lamborghini, not for this round, but for a round in the future. Oh, now that's proper showing off, trying to drift around Pinheiro. It should be an exciting race, like I've said, and if Stash leaves any more rubber on the ground, then people won't have to do any kind of sighting laps or anything because it'll be as sticky as you like. So tune in, stay tuned for lots of action. There's lots going to go on in this race. It should be full adrenaline all the way through. I think he's signing his name. Enjoy the race. So, that's a lovely fade. Is that your work, Sam? That was very good.
Yeah, it's my work.
Yeah.
Fade to black, yeah.
It's the fading. It's the fading out of the Z4. I'm just saying it. I'm exaggerating that because for some reason Stacey has picked up on the fact that I didn't say Z, like Bill does, because he's American and I'm not. So, looking at what we've got going on, should I go through the top 5 in each of the standings?
Okay.
Cool. So in AM, are we doing AM first, Sam? Which one do you want to do first? Have you got them ready for the screen?
You want the championship standings, maybe?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sorry, I was thinking
All right.
of qualifying order. Yeah, let's go for the app.
AM first, right? Okay, so it should say when it comes on the screen that Jezza McClintock is still leading, but he's not leading by much. He is only leading by like 9 points over Adam Wright. In third is Mr. Ben Cullen. And then in fourth we've got Kevin De Winter. And then rounding out the top 5 in AM is Jacob LeBrun. There's obviously a load of other guys in there that will be very familiar to you, but they've yet to take it into the top 5. And Barry Van Englenhoven's just on the outside, tapping away, trying to get in. So our pro standings, top 5, is Tice Simons. Just vanished again off the screen. There we go. Tice Simons is leading by around about 100 points. What's that, 102? Over Chris Shaw. So that battle's still raging, because in this, if he didn't finish for whatever reason, that would reduce very, very quickly. Martin Verschluven is in third. Abdul Alhambri, who's missing today because I think he's got a back injury. So we all wish him the best and get back in the car and get racing again, because we like to see you up there fighting it out with everybody else. And then Jamie Wilson in 5th. Probably going to get a few points today if he can stay on the track and finish like he normally does. So he normally does very well. And then, as we mentioned before, our lone Mercedes driver in pro, Sammy Bytorp, just outside the top 5 and trying to get in there. I think we've got a new pro driver tonight, which is Dan. Where's he gone? Dan Crossley. He's actually doing really well. He's posted the 4th fastest time so far, so he's a threat to everyone. And then in the teams, Dutch's Esports are leading with 24-15 points. And some way back from that, but not too far, about 50 points, is Northern Lights Racing Scuderia Haggis, with Paceworks Esports in 3rd, and VTS Germany Black in 4th, and Ascari Autosport in 5th. See, Bill, when I look at that, I think Paceworks Esports, why are they not 1st? Because they have so many drivers, don't they, in the top 5 normally, like Ty Simons, Adam Watson, etc. I'm surprised that they're not 1st.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I mean, these are the guys in Dutch Esports right here, I think, that are on screen now. But anyway, I question that too. But the points are the points. I assume. I guess I don't know whether Clyde or Sam is calculating those, but
oh no, the calculation's right. It's just the way that
it doesn't seem. They should at least be 2nd, very close, I would think. But yeah, who knows? I don't know, Pete. Maybe we're in the.
Sorry, I think you can look at the standings and see why it is, because of the 4 Paceworks Esports drivers who are sitting top 4 right now, none of them are on actually the same Paceworks team. So you've got Paceworks Esports Black,
That's true.
Paceworks Esports Yellow, and Paceworks Esports Blue, all represented in the top 4. But obviously only the 2 nominated drivers for each team are going to score points. And at the moment, none of the Paceworks Esports drivers are technically on the same team as far as point scoring goes.
That's a fantastic point, actually. I had completely missed all that. Don't know about you, Bill.
Yeah, but I think also, now that I think about it, the rules, I think, say that you can only have 2 guys. If you got a bunch of guys like BTS, you got to split it up, which they have done. You know, you've got McClintock and I think LeBrun on the same team in USA, and you got Marcus Blitz and not Marco Namella. I'm all right. Marco together. So it's, I think, I don't know. I still maybe I don't know who Ty Simons is paired with, but maybe he's not doing as well as the 2 guys that are. I don't know. Don't ask me to figure out because I don't know.
So, shall we go through the Pro and the AM top 5 as per the qualifying at the minute? Do you want to do the Pro, Bill?
That sounds famous. Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, cool.
Ty Simons is in 1st at the moment. We have Adam Watson in 2nd. And let's see, Moore. First name, Carl Moore is in 3rd. And let's see, who's 4th? Can't see it.
That's our new boy. That's Dan Crossley.
Crossley, okay. And Martin Van Sluven in 5th. And they're very close. They're separated by 0.2 of a second over that five-car range. That's pretty darn close.
Yeah, that is crazy close. I think that's one of the closest ones of all. And when you consider we wouldn't have seen a McLaren at the top end of this field previously. We've got 3 in the top 5.
Well, if you recall, the first couple of weeks we didn't have a McLaren. I mean, we had a McLaren, but he didn't show up.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a complete change. I'll do the AM piece once that switches on the stream, and I'll work our way through the AM class. So top of the pile at the moment is Jezza McClintock. He's on screen, he's 10th, but he's obviously 1st in AM. And then Ben Cullen is in 2nd. Barry van Englenhoven is in 3rd. Danielle Giudici. I always struggle on that one, don't I? It's terrible. I should really go to hell. And then Kevin De Winter is in 5th. Now, Kevin De Winter missed a round, didn't he? And he's still up there fighting for it. He's still in the top of the standings as well. So you can see that some of those cream is definitely rising to the top here, isn't it?
This is certainly a very competitive league. I'll tell you, both in the AM and the Pro. It's truly amazing how close some of these guys are.
Now, I've raced with Dan Crossley from the Pro before, or I've commentated on races that he's been in, and I don't know where from now, and I'm probably going to be ashamed when somebody tells me. Any surprises in any of that for you, Tyler?
I don't think so. I think generally we're looking at drivers pretty much where you would expect them to be, which is, I think, a good indication that, iRacing hasn't gone and made one of these cars way better than any others. Obviously, we've got some McLarens near the front of Pro, and we've got some BMWs near the front of AM, but it doesn't seem as though any car has any real particular advantage. And I mean, the times, are pretty tight all the way through.
They are. We've only got one driver that's not put a lap in at the minute, which is Luka Lecevic. I don't even know if he's still in the session. I must look at that and find out. He connected. Yeah, he's still in the session. And he's driving another. He's usually our McLaren driver, along with Rob.
That's right.
Yeah. So yet to post a time. We're how far in? We are at checkered in the qualifying session, so only the people still on a lap are going to record a lap. Ty Simons still our provisional pole man for a few seconds more at the very least, and maybe a few minutes more over Adam Watson. Now Ty Simon is still on track. He's obviously feeling under threat in some way, and he wants to extend it somehow. He's not posting any green sectors right now. Chris Shaw, however, is still on track, and he's got at least one green sector to his name. Although I don't see any more changes necessarily. Do you, Tyler?
No, I don't see anyone setting the timing screens on fire. There's a couple of guys who have posted green sectors, but I don't think they're going to post any better laps. So I get the feeling this is what we are going to see pretty much. There's just a couple drivers left out on track, and they don't seem to be going quicker.
No, and sometimes in these sessions I treat the rest of the qualifying a bit more like practice, to be honest. I always find with any car that I drive on iRacing that the less effort I make, the safer and faster I drive, funnily enough. So when I was trying in yesterday's race, I couldn't help but spin every time I got into Brussels corner at Spa, but there you go. So I think that is everybody done.
Wow.
That is everybody done. Nobody else on track now. So while there's 18 seconds worth of time ticking over, we'll have a little prediction. So, who are you taking for the win, Tyler? Who's the name at the top of the pile in your head?
Oh, it would be easy to go with Ty Simons, but I think I just think the Audi is going to be better on the long run here, and Adam Watson is right there with him. So I'm going to go with Adam Watson for the pro win, and then hard to bet against Jeremiah McClintock for AM, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good punt actually. And yourself, Bill?
I pass.
You fair enough. Right, well, let's run through the grid because I'm going to go for a rank outsider at the moment and go for Jamie Wilson. But there you go. So Ty Simons will lead us away for Paceworks Esports. Adam Watson will go off second for same team but black. Carl Moore, same team but yellow, off third. Dan Crossley, same team but blue, off fourth. Martin Verschluven for Dutchess Esports off fifth. Jamie Wilson off sixth. Chris Shaw off seventh. Eighth will be Jonathan Foote. Ninth will be Marcus Bletz. And 10th will be Jeremiah McClintock, the first of our AM drivers for VTS USA Black. Ben Cullen will go off 11th for Northern Lights Racing. And then Marco Lewert for VTS Germany Black. Tyler, do you want to do 13 onwards for a minute?
Sure thing. Rolling off 13th is Barry Van Englenhoven for Dutchess Esports alongside Daniele Giudici for BSTV Esports. Kevin De Winter will be 15th, Jacob LeBrun in 16th, Stephen Goebbels in 17th, Adam Wright in 18th, Carl Hardy 19th, Jimmy Kastaden in 20th, Bas Sluter 21st, Jamie Jeffrey 22nd, Larry DeLang 23rd, Paul Robinson rolls off 24th.
Do you want to have a shot at 25 onwards, Bill?
Sure. Scott Malcolm, 25th, BSTV Forza Haggis. 26th, Charles Kellyman. 27th, Rob Blackmore. 28th, Mark Heron, asymmetric. 29th, Frank T-Bosch. 30th, Ralph Cullinan. 31st, John Redwine. 32nd, Sammy Bytorp. 33rd, Roger Morton. 34th, Andy Maxwell. 35th, Alan Toon. 36th, Luka Legibic, whatever it is, sorry.
Legibic. Yeah, is there
Yeah,
someone
that.
behind Lucas starting? I don't think there is because he hadn't posted a time. So that is your full grid. So Ty Simons will take them to the green flag. It won't be that long either, will it? Because where do they start on this one?
Looks like just outside turn 3 or 4, so most of the lap, I think.
Yeah, actually, yes, you're right. They're
Yeah.
quite a long run. Must be one of the older
Whoa.
tracks.
I just lost a couple
Yes.
Pacework guys.
Yeah,
I think that was Adam Watson has vanished.
he has vanished.
Oh goodness.
Let's hope he reappears.
I was
Maybe
gonna-
forgot to put race fuel in and he's reset to the pit lane.
Possible, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I'd love to say I'd never done that, but that would be an utter lie because I've definitely done that before.
I haven't showed him as disappearing from the session as the whole.
Clyde, our esteemed head commentator normally, has said, Bill, you're so far on the fence, you've got splinters in your bottom.
About what, Clyde?
About who's
Picking a
going
race
to win.
winner, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. I don't want the dark cloud to descend on them. It's not.
I think he's gone. I think he's gone.
Yeah, he has
He's
dropped out
nailed it.
though.
And it looks like Ty Simons has hit the go pedal.
Yep.
And Adam Watson has dropped from the session. He got to receive throughput. So
Oh, man.
Oh goodness.
That's just really... Oh, hang on. Is that Martin Verschluven there? Putting a move on for third place.
That was really
It
something.
was.
That was a nice pass.
Yeah, hopefully Adam will rejoin. He's reconnected now, actually. He'll be annoyed at that because I'd be raging at that.
No, it's one thing you spin and crash, but when you have a technical issue like that, it's
Yeah.
just not right.
yeah, it's
not good,
frustrating
is it?
for sure.
Whoa,
Oh no!
Oh,
baby!
whoa.
Wow!
That is massive.
Wow! What the heck happened there?
Oh dear.
And the marshals have called a caution.
Wow!
It's one of the BSTV BMWs. Jamie
Couple of
Jeffrey,
BS
I think it was.
A couple of the BTS guys went on their head too.
Yeah, so that was a brutal start. It has to be said. It was right back in the field. I'll let you two. Ooh,
Wow.
on his lid. Wow, that was brutal.
Yeah, I think Jamie was just kind of sticking his nose in a place where it wasn't going to fit, unfortunately. And that's one of those kind of choke points on the track where you get the whole field as we see a stack up coming to green. Or is
Yeah.
this
Oh yeah! Wow!
goodness?
That's
The
bonkers.
field slowed way up there.
Why that is, I don't understand that one.
Yeah, that's on the leaders. I think trying to build a gap to the safety car.
Yeah.
Really check the field up.
Yeah, Ben Cullen just about managed to. Oh, is that Scott Malcolm? Sorry, in the BSTV Aero. He had to avoid by going through the centre at the middle of the field, as it were.
Yeah.
I'm showing Adam Watson is
Whoa.
back in, so this safety car will really help him.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, yes, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll have to go to the back of the field, I guess. But
Yeah, the question is if he lost a lap, in which case he. Oh, jeez.
wow!
There was nothing anybody could.
Oh, jeez! That's gonna leave a mark.
I'm not seeing any of that because my SDK doesn't
That's
like
gonna leave a mark. Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh dear! I've just seen it on the broadcast. It made me flinch. Believe
Yeah,
it or
I
not.
know it.
Oh dear. Right, so we are pacing, and we will be pacing for a little while, I would think.
Yeah, I'm showing just 4 cars in the pit lane, which seems
That's unreal.
phenomenally small given how many were involved in that. Rob
Yeah.
Blackmore is showing as out, so
Oh dear.
that's. I did see there was one of those. Is he a Paceworks guy? There was definitely a Paceworks McLaren in
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
There's Adam Watson
Oh, he's
at the front of the
caught.
queue, so he should get a wave around and get his lap back, hopefully.
I don't know how anybody waves anybody round in this thing.
Well, it should.
Well,
if
they
he's in
usually
front of the
announce
leaders,
it,
it
don't
should
they?
be automatic, you would think. But
You would think so, yeah.
But then again, in the GT4 league, it shuffled you back. So
I've only had the pace car or the safety car in oval racing, and they tell you to go around, but I'm not sure how they work it here. And usually in oval racing, I'm so far behind, I think I'm in first place anyway, so.
Yeah.
looks like everybody. Nope. No, they're all staying out. They're just
So
trying to catch up to the pace car.
Is Adam Watson on the lead lap, or is he on a? Is he behind?
He is essentially a lap behind, I think. He's
Right.
So the pace car has picked him up. As far as I know, he is still on the race lead lap, but he'll be basically a full lap behind.
Did we actually complete a lap before that accident happened?
No,
that was the
we were
first
still
lap.
on the first lap.
That's what I thought.
So now people are going to the pits, and I think why they did not on the last one, it's because the pit lane was closed under the racing safety car.
There you go. Rely upon Sam for the fact.
I was just surprised more people didn't have to tow back, really.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Unbelievable, that crash. It's like
so Adam Watson,
Yeah, Adam Watson has passed
Field.
the safety car, so
He has
he's
gotten the
getting
wave
his
by.
lap back.
good stuff.
Yep.
Race
He's
control
back.
gave him his lap, so that's good.
It'll be a fight back through, but at least he'll have a chance now after that.
I'm not sure it will
disconnect.
be only one lap down. He will be on the lead lap.
Yeah, he
so-
should be on lead
Yeah,
lap.
he is.
Yeah.
He's showing on the lead lap, so he should be all right.
Good. Well, that's good.
Okay, because I see him at about 7 laps. I don't know why, but he seems like he will be 1 lap down still. On the field.
right.
On the
So I'm not
iRacing
sure.
scoring, it's showing him on the lead lap. So.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Race
Yeah,
control.
yeah.
Race control can still be instructed. So.
Yeah, he's definitely on the lead lap
Yeah,
for
it has
iRacing.
been
so-
sorted out on SDK. It's probably because he was in the pit when the safety car came down.
Yes, it will be,
Yeah.
won't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so it looks like Rob Blackmore and Paul Robinson are out of this race. Oh no, Paul Robinson's back on track.
Right. Good.
And Rob Blackmore is as well.
Hey, get in.
No,
Everybody.
sorry, I was
Aw.
mistaken.
It says out there on him.
Yeah, so Rob Blackmore is out of this race. Paul Robinson's gonna give it a go, but he is a lap down in that VTS car. So
Well, fortunately for the guys that were unfortunate, it happened early in the race, so we still have a chance.
yep, and do get a fast repair, right? So
Yep.
everyone should at least have a fresh car to have another stab at it.
So I don't know when we'll start going green again, because you need to see the lights on the back of the pace car, don't you, in order to know when it's coming in.
Yeah, one
Well,
more
the
lap.
top lights go off as
One,
well.
one
So
more lap, according to Sam.
You know,
David Heavey says that poor Rob has no luck at all. I agree with you entirely, unfortunately.
the three Pacework blue McLarens up front looks like the Blue Angels in formation.
Yeah. All the fire coming out of the back.
They're on afterburner.
Yeah. It's good to see the McLaren in the races and at the pointy end as well, because
Absolutely.
for such a long time the BMW has dominated GT3. Really, it's been the car of choice, hasn't it, Tyler?
it has. It's kind of been just a little bit better than the other cars, but in racing like this, just a little bit better it means all of the quick guys are going to gravitate towards it, and you'll see kind of an overwhelming force of that car. I think you can tell from the grid today that there's not really a dominant force, and it's probably going to vary by track as well. Obviously, 3 McLarens out front, it gives the impression that it's the dominant car, but I think we had an Audi up there to start. Versluven was not far off in qualifying pace at all. And over the course of the race in that Ferrari, I would imagine will be pretty competitive.
Yeah, I agree with
And
you.
of course, in AM, you see the BMW leading. There's Mercedes up there in the top 10 in AM, along with a Ferrari, along with an Audi, along with a McLaren. So pretty competitive. And then once we see the introduction of the Lamborghini and hopefully the new BMW for the next race out at Imola, I think you're going to see some nice diversity in the field. Hopefully, it's a good mix. I think racing is always better with a nice mix of cars. especially in a class like this. So
Oh,
it's a shame. A shame there's no Fords. As far as I didn't test the Ford, but as I understand it, it is closer to being competitive. But I don't think. I think part of the problem is that just nobody owns it. So
Probably
so
that.
nobody, nobody
Anybody,
running here today.
anybody know why Adam Watson entered the pits?
I just noticed that. I'm not sure either.
He
He's-
set the fastest lap of the race, funnily enough. But yeah, why is he in the pits?
I probably just topped off on fuel. You know,
thanks.
help. He's going to be restarting in last anyway, so
Yeah.
why not
Yeah, darn near
make
the
your
back,
next pit
exactly.
stop? Extend your strategy and make your next pit stop a little shorter. That's actually what I'll keep it brief since we're about to go back to green here. But in our media day race yesterday, it's what hurt AAA in the long run in his GT4 car by staying out under the safety car.
Yeah.
It meant that he had a much longer pit stop than any of us who stopped under the safety car because we
We got
had
through more fuel, yeah.
exactly. So that's probably the play that Adam Watson's going for, and I imagine it'll work out for him as he works his way back through. But we're about to go back green here, I think, and they're holding
pace
up
car's
the field
off.
again.
So there's no guarantees we're not going to get another one as we go through center S's again. So let's see what happens on this restart. He's gone.
Yep. Green, green, green.
Ben Cullen's had a good restart. He's jumped both of the VTS cars and gotten right behind Jeremiah McClintock for first in AM.
To scroll my screen upwards to find Ben, which is unusual. I know he's listening, so it's just a wind up. I'm only being honest, Ben. So the front of the field is away. Ty Simon's got himself a bit of a gap again.
Something has happened to Luka Lejovic. Showing he's not moving.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's a very, very wide line there.
I guess that's gonna give him a couple incident points.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
without
sure.
doubt. That's Sluter there, trying to slide. Ooh, too wide all the way round there.
Oh, baby. That's
Adam Watson, who
Whoa, look
restarted
at that.
in last, in 34th, is currently running in 17th. He has literally passed half the field in half a lap.
Oh, no. No, no.
Oh
And
dear.
just as I say that, he
Wow.
sends one of the VTS cars for a spin.
Yeah,
But he had made some incredible ground there on the restart, as there's more cars off here.
Yeah, they're off the track and off the racing line, so I don't
Going
think
for a
race
bit of a
control's
shortcut.
going to do anything with that. That was messy, wasn't it? Adam
It was.
Adam Watson got inside the Mercedes in front of him there and gave him a bit of a touch and a shove round.
Yeah, I think because Adam backed out of it to give the Mercedes some room. That must have been, yeah, Stefan Goebbels. But he had to check up because the Mercedes in front of him checked up, and that brought Adam into him. As there's a little more contact in turn one. That is Van Englenhoven and Adam Wright getting together. And Adam's going to lose some spots there.
He is, but he's still going, which is the main thing.
I guess Englehoven wasn't happy with Adam getting by him in the first place or something there.
I guess not.
So here's what must have happened to... Oh, Luca.
Oh, wow.
Luca's
Jeez.
got on the
Whoa.
gas and spun under caution.
Stay still.
Yeah,
Attaboy.
yeah, he needed to hold the brakes a little earlier there, I think. Let the field get by him as Adam Wright's gone for a spin on his own this time.
That
and
might
he's
be
dropping further down.
That might be due to further damage incurred by Barry van Englenhoven.
It certainly could be. Also, the McLaren is certainly, I would say, the most sensitive of these cars on throttle. So it could just be he caught a little bit of curb, got on the throttle a bit harder than he needed to, and spun the McLaren around.
Sounds possible, yeah.
But he may also have some damage from the contact we saw with Van Englenhoven, as Ben Cullen's dropping through the field now.
Oh, well, do we trust SDK on that one? I don't know. I've seen cars do
yeah,
that before.
I think we do. No, he's back up.
Yeah, there you go, you see. SDK. It sometimes lies.
I do wonder if it might have been a connection thing, because it was showing him as way out.
possible. Yeah.
He might have blinked out of
Unfortunately,
it.
Luka Lajovic has retired himself from the race. That's sad. I do enjoy watching him race, actually.
Yeah, I struggle to pronounce his name, but I like him, like the way he races too.
Yeah.
As
So,
we see
series
Adam
of
Wright,
unfortunate events so far.
Adam Wright trying to work his way back through. It's been rather messy so far, hasn't it?
It has,
And
yeah.
Roger Morton at this moment.
Yeah, we know Adam's got pace because he was running
Who was trying to?
top 5 in AM, but that's tight.
Oh, wow!
That's what we turned up for, folks. Oh, not
there's
that
a little door banging going on.
one. There
And
is.
Roger says,
Oh, dear.
in your dreams, pal.
Yep,
Yeah.
Roger's not giving that up, is he?
And he says, take this, boom.
Poor Adam Wright is just being pushed around here today.
He is.
Well, he's really, Adam's really pushing the envelope, though.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Yeah, some of it is situations he's put himself in for sure, but definitely
But
getting
sometimes
a
if you
nudge
don't
or
try,
two.
sometimes if you don't try, you don't get.
Yep, absolutely. He's definitely trying.
He sure is.
So this is Dan Giudici getting done, I think, by Adam Watson, believe it or not.
Yeah, Adam is continuing to
Not
fly
yet.
through the field.
Not yet.
Ooh, that's close. Audi on Audi, this is.
Oh, here we go. This ought to be cheesy.
See how...
I think Dan let him go there.
Oh.
Oh, there's more. There's more,
Oh,
more
dear.
door banging.
Come on,
Goodness.
boys. He's fine. Ooh, oh, has he?
A little nudge
Yeah.
from the
let me
BMW.
put a little, let me put a little more black paint on that little cute car of yours.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. 3
And that's
BMWs scrapping.
That's open Roger Morton up to Jamie Jeffrey behind.
Jamie's got quite a lot of damage carrying on that BMW, mate.
Oh, that must be a lap. That was Paul Robinson in the VTS car going through. He's a lap down.
Yep.
Ah, right.
So we see Scott Malcolm and Ralph Cullinan.
Yeah, Scott's not managed that yet.
More BSTV and result action here.
Yeah, it seems to be they're all paired up all over the place. Sammy Bytorp in the Mercedes, getting on the back of that Ferrari in front of him. Who's that? Jimmy Custodden? Yeah.
Yep.
And I see Chris Shaw back there at the end of this train.
Yeah.
And is that Jamie Wilson or?
That's Chris Shaw
that's Chris
on
Shaw
Jamie
there.
Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me going then. No, he's done it.
Sammy Bytorp has.
Wow.
He did qualify the
Good.
car, but he didn't qualify well, and he hasn't really been able to work his way through the AM field at all.
No, that Mercedes isn't working for him at the minute, is it?
I'll
It
tell you.
certainly seems that
Whoa,
way.
Whoa, that little
Richie.
tap on the back there.
Ah, dear.
Adam Watson wonders if he's got a friend out there at all right now.
Yeah. Whoa, he's running right
Oh,
to the
wow.
very edge. Who's that? Mark Edouard?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not wanting to get overtaken here, but I think it's a bit inevitable with the
Kind of
pace
hot
Adam
in there.
Watson's
Look
got.
out, baby. Oh, he held on to it.
Look at the way that Audi grips. It's brilliant, isn't it? Oh, here we
Yeah,
go.
it is. It is a bit more susceptible to curbs, the Audi, so Adam will have to be careful there, but he's managed to work his way forward pretty expertly.
I have to tell you, in my ham and egg driving style, I've tried all these cars in a test session, just fooling around. And I found the Audi the most stable of all those cars, to me anyway. It felt really stable.
Yeah, with the new update, I actually had the most spins in the Audi. It just seemed if you pushed it a little bit too hard, it would suddenly step out from you. Same if you just caught a little bit of curb.
Yeah, well, I haven't driven it since the update, so that's very possible.
Yeah, I think you're right in that as far as balance-wise, I think the Audi is probably the
It
most
really did. It
neutral.
felt, as I said, for a real dunce like me, it felt great. So I don't know.
There's still formation flying out at the front from the Paceworks
Sure is.
McLarens.
The Blue Angels, here they come.
Yeah.
Center stage.
Yep.
I'll be right back, guys. Just one sec.
Cheers.
Okay.
Three-way battle here with Marco Lewert. Oops. We've changed the screen now. Marcus Blitz and Adam Watson.
Another car to tick off Adam Watson's box as he's working his way forward. And the crazy thing is he's barely losing time to the leaders as well.
Yep.
I mean, he's pretty much on their pace while he's working his way through traffic.
Well, he hasn't fortunately been bogged down too much by anybody, so that helps a lot. Look at that, nice pass.
Yeah, Marcus made it much easier on Adam than his teammate
Oh,
Michael
yeah,
Ward
yep.
did for sure.
Gave him a lot of room, yep.
Yeah.
There's Chris Shaw behind. Oh no, that's not Chris Shaw, is it?
Oh no, there's more contact. That's Mark Heron.
Whoa, right over the hood.
Mark Heron and Kellyman, and it looks like Heron's gonna slow up and let him by. I think he knows he was a bit in the wrong.
I'm gonna
there.
give him the place back, yeah.
Yeah, good sportsmanship by Mark Heron
Yes,
there,
it is.
obviously. Yeah, just sticking the nose in where it didn't belong, I think. Fortunately for Charles Kellyman there.
And we've all done it, haven't we?
Yeah, for sure. And you just hope that, like Mark Heron, they wait up for you on the other end.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mark Heron's off the track now and in the
Ooh.
wall.
Back on underway again.
Yeah. Great
Yeah,
scrap of 4 BMWs and a Ferrari here. That is
Scott Malcolm and Roger Morton, Jamie Jeffrey, and the Luke. Who was that?
that is the Paul Robinson
Oh,
BMW who's a lap down leading.
No,
this group.
the Ferrari is.
The Ferrari is Kostadin, I think.
Oh, okay, Castad, right.
Kostadin, yep.
And I'm back.
Cheers.
So this is quite a gaggle here, isn't it?
Oh, they're all over the place. I'm telling you.
So everybody seems to have calmed down now after the first 3 laps with the chaos,
Whoa.
really, wasn't it?
Yeah, you did miss a coming together of Mark Heron and Charles Kellyman.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, but
Otherwise, it's been.
the spot was given back, which was nice.
Well, it looked like it was
Right.
going to be given back, but looking at the timing, Mark Heron is ahead of Charles Kellyman, so
yeah.
not too sure there. But
So Ty Simons leads by half a second at the minute. And then there's another 7/10 back to Dan Crossley.
yeah, they're all still right together out front.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
and-
we got Martin Van Schluven.
Yeah, Interlagos. Yeah, Interlagos is one of those tracks where it's quite difficult to get away, isn't it? Because you get onto this not a straight, and the slipstream is quite powerful. Ooh, wow. Oh dear.
Oh,
no.
wow. That
Oh,
one's
dear.
that one's
That's
smarted.
messy.
Yeah,
That was
was
ill advised
Kostadin.
by Jimmy. Yeah.
Roger Morton. Yeah.
Kostadin had a big run on the BSTV cars. I'm not sure which one it was.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Jamie Jeffrey, isn't it?
Jamie Jeffrey.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, and he went for the move and unfortunately dove it in a little too deep, and Roger Morton was there. So
Yeah, having a run's one thing, being able to control it is another.
Yep.
right, and you got to be aware of not just the car you're trying to overtake, but all the cars around you as well. As we see Adam Wright trying to go around the outside of Baz Sluter there.
He's making it work.
Yeah, he's gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Adam's definitely got some pace today. If he can stop people running into him, I think he'll be all right. But he does have some ground to make back up.
Okay,
That car looks immensely clean, given the fact that it's been in contact with virtually every car on the track so far.
Yeah, it's tough to see the sides, and I think that's where most of the contact has been. But yeah, as we see the battle for the AM lead, a couple of BMWs here.
Jeremiah McClintock and Ben Cullen.
Yeah. Ben's going to get a
Awesome.
nosebleed.
Yeah, Ben's had some good pace recently, I was about to say.
Yeah.
And he's trying to take the AM lead here. These BMWs definitely on
I don't
pace
know
for
how-
these two at least.
I don't know how Ben can say that it's not running well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what does he want? Does he want to be at the top of... Does he want to be beating Ty Simon?
He wants
Yeah.
he wants to be in the top 5 apparently.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm only kidding you, Ben. You're doing a good job there, man.
No, keep winding him up. That's easier. And
we
more
have
fun.
Jamie Wilson's onboard cam, which I absolutely love.
Oh yeah,
I see it.
he does the best of those. I'll tell you, he really does.
Yeah, Chris Shaw has just gotten by him, or at least has gotten by him in the last few laps, so he's trying to get back through a couple of Ferraris here.
Yeah, Jamie Wilson's in set, and Abdul Al-Amri's when he's got his VR going. They're both brilliant, aren't they? Because you can see where their heads are tilted and turning.
That's right.
And the reality simulation is even better. It's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you, I don't know if you've ever watched any of his redones. He usually posts what you're seeing now for the races that he does, and it's really fascinating as hell to watch. You know, it really is. He does a great job.
And a bit like you, Bill, I've had a VR set for quite a long time now. Never used it.
Yeah, me either.
I like my triples, to be honest, but you use VR, don't you, Tyler?
Yeah, I've been exclusively VR for, I guess, close to 3 years now. Must be. What did I get? Because I had the original Rift, and then I moved to the Rift S. So I've been running VR for quite a while, and it's probably not as... You can probably run faster with triples, but I just love the immersion factor that VR gives you. It's really great. I think it's, I would say, the future as... Oh, Jeremiah McClintock dropped out for a minute there. I think as headsets get more and more higher fidelity, it's going to start to be, you know,
the way to
really
go.
Competitive with triples.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you, not to talk about bodily functions, but first time I watched one of those VR sets, I was in a store, and I put that thing on. It was kind of a demo. Put it on. They were showing some kind of spacewalk or something, and you know, when I was younger, I was a pilot. I used to do all kinds of spins and all this kind of stuff. Never bothered me at all. I about hurled on the carpet there when I had that. It was horrible. Let me tell you, it just drove me crazy. And then I had a chance to buy a Oculus fairly reasonably from a guy I know out in Nevada, and I picked it up and I thought, well, I'll give it a try again. And it still sits in the box he sent it to me about, I don't know, at least a year ago, maybe even more.
Yeah, this is Adam Watson on Ben Cullen. But yeah, I'm real fortunate in that from the day I got it, I have never had any motion sickness issues in VR. I don't know how I got so lucky, but yeah, there's definitely something to be said for as we see pit stops starting. That's
Jamie Jeffries in the pits,
as well as Scott Malcolm.
Yeah, you see him use his free repair there. His car pops back into shape.
Yeah. So pretty close to a third of the way through the race. These will be the guys splitting the race up evenly. Yeah, oh, for sure, two stopping from here, I would think.
Jacob LeBrun and Carl Hardy. Not anymore.
There you go. Good move.
Wow.
Excellent
Jeremiah
on the brakes. Sorry.
Jeremiah gave him a little room too, which he knew it was coming.
Yeah, for sure. It's not... I mean, obviously you do get points for your overall position, even if you're an AM runner, but
right.
That's not a fight you want to fight if you're Jeremiah McClintock,
No.
especially with Ben Cullen right there.
Yeah, that's called using discretion. Yeah.
Especially, a little less than halfway. I mean, it's a little early to try that stuff.
So these guys are still really close, aren't they?
Yeah, Chris Shaw.
Yeah, go on.
Jamie Wilson, and I missed who the last one was.
Jonathan Foote.
Yep,
Foote, yep, that's right. Okay.
And I get the sense that they will be joined shortly by Adam Watson. He is running... his last lap was a little bit slower, but he's been pretty much on the leader's pace, which is probably around about a half a second a lap quicker than what those guys are doing. So I would imagine probably shortly after their round of pit stops, Adam Watson's going to be right with that group.
Well, he's driving like he's either bleeding or on fire. Let me tell you, he is going. We have the VTS German guys here, Marcus Pletz and Marco Lewert.
It's interesting. Marcus and Marco are two of the pro classified drivers, but they haven't seemed to be able to make the BMW work as well as the AM drivers have. You've got in the top 6 in AM, 5 of them are BMWs, and the 2 of them are running quicker than the VTS cars. So perhaps the VTS guys just struggling a little bit with the car. Maybe old setups not working as well, or trying
Could be.
setups that didn't work out. But at the moment, they're kind of stuck at sort of the back of the pro field.
Yep.
12th.
So do we
Well-
think that tyre wear will be an issue or not?
I think it'll be a factor. I don't know that anybody is going to have to change tires, but I do think you'll start to see some drivers who have managed their tires better or set the cars up to manage the tires better sort of rise to the front. I mean, it's possible that the Paceworks car have set their cars up to manage their tires well, and you'll just see them continue to pull away. But I get the feeling that you will see some coming and going as drivers wear their tires differently.
So we have got 3 McLarens at the front of the field, followed by 3 Ferraris, followed by 2 Audis, and then 4 BMWs. Isn't that weird?
Like
They're all
International
bunched
Motors,
together.
isn't it? Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm just looking at the cars who have already stopped, and it looks from the pit stop times like we've had 2 drivers take tires, Larry DeLange and Andy Maxwell, both in Ferraris, interestingly. So something to, I guess, keep an eye on is how they progress through the field and if they're able to make any ground up on the cars in front of them, like Scott Malcolm, Mark Herron, Stephen Gerbel, who've already made their stops without tires, without taking tires.
Very interesting. Not everybody under the safety car did anything to do with pits, because obviously you wouldn't if you were untouched at the beginning of a race. So most people would have stayed out. Only the ones with any kind of damage would have pitted, and only if it would have been significant enough to be sacrificing position to the back of the field. So this is the first round of proper pit stops then.
Yeah, it is, and we saw, I guess at Spa, we saw some drivers take a gamble to take tires. I know Ben Cullen was one of them, but it was mostly drivers who had been, set back in the race, who had some sort of issue already, and we're just trying to make some ground back up by taking tires. So it'll be interesting as pit stops continue to happen to see if any of the front runners take tires. I think that'll be the big telling factor as to how bad the tire wear is and if it's going to play a factor over the course of this race or not.
Looks like Jamie Wilson's back on the back of Chris Shaw after being passed a few laps ago.
Yeah,
And behind him is Jonathan Foote.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy sat in his slipstream, is he? He's going to be ahead.
Oh, no. No, he wants by, no doubt about it.
And Martin Verschluven's in kind of his own little world at the moment. He's 5 seconds behind the kind of lead pack, and he's 5 seconds in front of this battle for...
Jamie's making a move into turn 1.
Yeah. Probably smartest for these two to work together a little bit, as it seems their pace is pretty equal. So, Chris Shaw, smart there not to fight it. Just let Jamie have it. He'll probably get it back in a few laps.
Yeah, that's a real excellent corner to crash on.
Yeah.
It can happen.
It is, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, with all the chaos that ensued at the start, what incidents will play as a part of this race. Because they've got... Oh, I'm going to have to... I suddenly lost my... Oh, it's flashing lights. What's that about? You can quit that right now.
Get the wire cutters out.
Yeah, wire cutters. For... Who is that? Is that Barry Van Engelen? No, it's not.
We'll snip all of them.
Yeah, it is. It's Barry. Yeah, he's gone down in my estimations.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. Sam, I'm going to have to divert to you. How many incident points is it before the first penalty drive-through?
Look at the rules.
Look at the rules.
I think it's 20. But
thanks for that live.
I think this is 20. I think Sam's right.
Pete, defers to the rules just for a moment. So, okay, keep talking.
Oh, we got Chris Shaw right alongside Jamie Wilson again into turn curve 01.
Yeah, interesting choice by Jamie to defend there. Like I was saying, I think it's probably better for these two to kind of keep trading positions.
You know, essentially that kind of slows them down, doesn't it, when they do that?
Yeah, Chris might have another look here into turn 4, is it?
4, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, he
Backs
is
out of
close.
it, but he definitely had a run there.
He was close to over there.
Chris is quick for sure. He'll be wanting to get that 5th place.
He's fast in that other league too, let me tell you.
Absolutely. Yeah, super talented and working hard on Jamie Wilson, who's also incredibly quick.
Jamie's no slouch, let me tell you. He's
Yep.
a charger.
So yeah, it's 20. Thanks, Sam. Love you. Teacher gave me a bollocking just there, so had to go and find it.
It's like Mark Aaron was struggling on the side of the track there a minute ago, or just letting him by, I guess.
I think he was letting him go. Yeah.
Okay.
Adam Wright is in for his first pit stop, and it looks like he's taking tires because he's been in there for a while.
He was pushing his car pretty hard though, Tyler.
Definitely, yeah. He having to fight back through.
Is that his first time in the pits? It is, isn't it? So he couldn't possibly have used his fast repair already. So yeah, he'll be taking tyres. That was a lot of fire just there. Did you see that?
Don't you love it? Oh, that was great.
Brilliant.
Should go on the highlight screen. That was beautiful.
Yeah, if the Paceworks guys can't get a decent team photo shot out of that, I don't know what they need.
That's for sure.
Now I'm wondering if Adam has some issue because he's been in there for quite a while.
Oh,
Unless
right.
the other drivers who had longer stops didn't take tires, they were just...
Larry DeLonge just got by Scott Malcolm in turn 4.
He's been in there for almost 2 minutes.
Oh
now.
yeah, there he sits.
That's...
Is that damage then?
I don't know, did he forget to recheck his fast repair? Maybe he had it unchecked to start.
Possible, isn't it?
Forgot to recheck it, took the full length for damage repair. Because 2 minutes is far too long, I think. Just be checking tires.
Whoever Boxy is, I can't remember who that is now on the chat. He's obviously a Paceworks guy. He says, "Oh, don't worry, the photos for the team we're all over it."
All right, good.
yeah, totally.
So Ralph Cullen has
Hey,
been in and out, and I think he took tires based on his pit stop time as well.
Well,
it looks like
David Heavey said, would he have been caught speeding in the pit?
yeah, I just read that, Pete. That's a good thought.
I don't think that's... It's possible, but I think normally, even if you're speeding on entry, you still serve it as a drive-through. But it's a good thought. It might be...
Stop and hold.
It could very well be a stop and hold. It could be a stop and hold for a different reason than pit speed, unsafe pit entry or something.
We've just seen Carl Moore take the lead of this race, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Good effort, Carl.
Doesn't seem like these Paceworks cars can really get away from one another anyway. Maybe Carl just trying to put a little gap in before this pit stops for these guys.
Carl, of course, is the team leader for these guys. So there's some wondering on the chat as to whether he's just pulled a multi-21 against his teammate. Oh dear, that's funny. So I wonder if these guys are in a chat saying, are we all going to pit at the same time? Because they're going to be getting some benefit from tailing one another, aren't they?
Yeah, it's an interesting thought, but just looking at the way Tice is driving, it almost seems as though he's struggling with his tire. A couple times that lap, he ran quite a bit wider than either Carl in front of him or Garza behind him.
I noticed that angle was a little bit different too, Tyler. You're right.
So I think there's a chance that Tice is just struggling here, rather than Carl pulling rank and assuming the lead.
So do you think he's the bubble in the spirit level, do you?
I don't know. I think it's tough to say. There's certainly the possibility that he's just been pushing harder than the other two and has fried his tires, but it could also just be a matter of trying to take it easy before the pit stops from Tice. So I'm not sure.
Here we're looking at the Mercedes connection to Paceworks. Sammy Bytorp chasing John Redwine.
So do you get a benefit to following in terms of tyre wear? Because I thought it would be worse if you're following, because the lack of downforce on the front end of your car would lift your car up and scrub it, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. In theory, definitely, you should get worse tire wear following a car just from understeer. I've seen in the chat that the McLaren setup had the word Doom in it, which is certainly an indicator that, first of all, that these guys have been playing extensively from the baseline setups. I know there were some comments from one of the Paceworks guys, I think it was Carl, in the league Discord, that they weren't particularly fans of the baseline setups. So these guys definitely putting the time in to get something that they're comfortable with, but that may also come with some significant tire wear, as we're potentially seeing for Tice. Although he's managed to stay within a second of Carl in front of him and was the quickest of the three that lap. So I think potentially just a matter of getting used to being in dirty air is possibly what was happening for Tice there, because he spent the whole race in front. To suddenly be in behind another car is certainly going to make your car handle differently than it has been.
Yeah, and this track in particular, it attracts you to put a lot of downforce on the car, doesn't it? Because you've got such tight turns, but you also don't want that, because it's got some really good straights that you want to make the most of. You've got to find that intermediate balance, haven't you? And that's got to be a challenge.
I'm not a setup expert, but I'm pretty sure Interlagos is definitely a downforce track. You compromise the straight because there's really just the one. Obviously, there's kind of that second run into turn 4 where you can get a tow, but it's far more important, I think, to have that downforce in the car. In any track with some semblance of a straight, you want to go as light on downforce as you can while still being comfortable in the turns. But as I've always understood it, Interlagos is definitely a track you want to dial as much wing into it as you can get away with.
Yeah, someone sensible who raced a lot once told me that you do your setup for the slowest turn on the track. I don't know how he was a real life racer, but I don't know how true that is. Somebody pit in there. I think
it looked like one of those.
Or someone. Sorry, Bill.
Yeah. Ooh, he's
Alan.
really crawling.
Alan Toon.
Yeah. Baz Sluter's in as well, and is also taking quite a long pit stop.
Stefan Gogol and Ralph Cullinan. Fortunately,
Sorry, Bill.
Fortunately, they didn't come together. Go ahead.
Yeah, just saying Baz also had a lengthy pit stop, some 51 seconds, whereas other drivers taking tires are stopped for just around about 30 seconds. So.
Yeah.
50's a hell of a lot. Who was that? Baz Sluter?
Yes. Yep.
Where's Baz? Baz is back in 17th in class, 28th on track.
Yeah, of course, not everybody has stopped yet. Quite a few cars are really stretching this out, and actually not all that far from looking at a one-stopper. Potentially with the safety car saving enough fuel to make it a one-stop affair.
True, and I was wondering, I didn't want to seem foolish because I do that a lot, about Adam Watson pitting and putting himself to the back of the field. Could that be because he was trying to slot himself into a potential one-stop strategy? Because here he is.
Well, as I said, essentially why you do that is to just extend your strategy options. He was going to be at the back anyway. He was already at the end of the lead lap, so by pitting, he didn't lose anything. And he does get to fill it up with fuel, and you're right, it'll certainly put him closer to essentially a one-stop race. Obviously, it'll technically be a two-stop because he had that early fill, but
yeah.
I think you're right that he...
Whoa! Ben Cullen.
If everyone can make a one-stop happen, Adam Watson is going to be the closest for sure.
He is, and that, just there, is the overtake for the lead of the AM class, Ben Cullen. The league is officially upside down.
Yeah, I don't know what Ben thinks he's doing fighting for the lead. He knows that's he's managed to slip through against team orders.
He must
We'll
feel
have
very
to see how
uncomfortable,
this
huh?
shakes out by the end of the race, but
He must feel extremely uncomfortable being out there.
Yeah.
he'll have to rectify that quickly as Jeremiah McClintock is having a look.
Oh, dear.
But Adam Watson's got by Foot for 7th overall, and he's actually been quicker than the leaders. He's now within 14 seconds where he was greater than 14 seconds behind. So I'm not going to say he's going to be in contention, but he's certainly not out of it for sure, is Adam Watson.
Well, I'm still waiting for Jamie Wilson, my call for the win, to get his wriggle on and get to the front. I think it's going to be a last dash attempt. He's all on his own at the minute, look.
That's true. He has really pulled away from Chris Shaw there, which is a bit surprising. Chris seemed to have the pace to hang on a little bit at least.
He's about to get Adam Watson.
You do wonder if maybe Jamie in the Ferrari, as Jeremiah McClintock ducks into pit lane, if Jamie was saving some fuel early on to try and make it to a one-stop, and that's why he was kind of hanging with this group, and now he's hit his fuel number and is free to run away from Chris Shaw here.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because in 15 seconds we hit the middle point of the race.
Yeah, obviously, this isn't when you want to pit, because the safety car means that you will have saved. If you can only make it to this point in the race, it's going to be very close to make it to the end, because you saved a lot under the safety car.
Adam Watson by Chris Shaw.
I would say if they can make it 2 more laps from this point, so pitting on lap 29 or so, I would be pretty confident that they can make it to the end of the race.
Carl Hardy and Ralph Cullinan side by side into turn 1.
That was Charles Kellyman, I think.
No, I'm sorry, it was. Beg your pardon.
Yeah.
And Carl's gone through. That's top 5. No, that's 6th. Sorry, in the AM class for Carl.
It is, yeah, and that'll go into his poster book. Carl Hardy making an actual overtake.
Yeah, Carl seemed pretty confident in his pace going into this weekend, and it does seem like he's been relatively competitive in the M field so far today. So that's it's good to see Carl putting some pace in. Obviously, for those who don't know, Carl tends to put up practice sessions for both this league and the GT4 TCR league for everybody to get their practice in before the race weekend. So he's a big friend of everybody in the community, I think, for his efforts in putting up the practice sessions. So good to see Carl running well here today, and it's not too far. Oh, that's Jeremiah McClintock, who's already made his stop. That's ahead of him. So probably not for position. He's not terribly far behind him.
I'll tell you.
And this is the Paceworks Esports formation driving team. Just in case you'd not seen them before, we're expecting some 3 different colours of smoke to pour out the back of them at some point, so they can do some stunt driving at the same time. Sorry, Bill, go on.
Wouldn't that be great? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you, to add to what Tyler said, Carl Hardy, putting up all those sessions and stuff, he really puts a lot of work into getting better at this, and hopefully he gets rewarded. He seems to do better in this series than he does in the TCR. I don't know why, but he doesn't do a bad job in this GT3 series.
And
here comes the point.
Talk about formation driving as they all break their lane. That was impressive. And 47 minutes into this race, I'd say they can probably make it to the end from here, even if they have to do a bit of fuel saving. But Versleuven stays out, so he'll lead a lap at least.
Another point for Dutchies Esports.
Adam Watson stays out, as well as Jamie Wilson. So looks like the Ferraris are decent on fuel, although Chris Shaw has come into the pits, and Foot in the Audi is in as well. Ben Cullen stays out, and he is in the top 5 overall for a fleeting moment. So
we use that term loosely.
Yeah. I don't know whether Chris Shaw's pitting because he's lost his tyres, because he dropped back from Jamie Wilson, didn't he? Quite dramatically.
Certainly did.
It's true. I'll keep an eye on the time. It's a good thought, Pete. Yeah. I'll keep an eye on the times and see
I have one good thought a year. That might be it.
Yeah, well, 27-second stop in pit lane is not indicative of having taken tires out.
Oh well, I'll have to wait for a
no,
good
actually,
idea
yeah.
later.
Yeah,
New
that's
York.
a good point. I think you're right. That is. So it looks like all of the drivers who came in the pro class that lap did take tires, which is very interesting. And will we see somebody? It's about a 20-second delta, it seems, for the cars that don't take tires. So will we see anyone risk it from the pro class and try and keep their tires? So we get a look here. Does he go up on is he up on the jacks?
Not yet.
No, Ty Simons came out ahead of the other two guys. He
Yeah.
seems to have fast pit stops. I don't know.
So Sam, are you saying that he's not jumped up on the jacks for the tires?
Not yet, and I don't think he did, because
Oh,
the 25
okay.
seconds seems to be the pit
Fuel
window for the
only.
fuel only.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Cheers
Yeah.
for that.
Only fuel,
Definitely.
no tires.
Definitely didn't
Okay,
take
yeah,
tires.
so it does seem like the 50-second stopped drivers are the ones who took tires.
Ooh, that's
that-
a big difference, though, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah, it must be. I was thrown off, I think, by guys stopping early and not taking a ton of fuel.
Yeah.
So it looks like a full fuel stop to the end of the race is going to be about 30 seconds stopped in the box, whereas the drivers who took tires as well stopped for around 50 seconds. So
Wow. Are you going to get that time back though? 20-odd seconds.
probably not, which is why I
Right.
think we've seen all of these guys not take tires. Looking through the field now, I only see 2 or 3 drivers who did take tires, it looks like. So I'm seeing Dan Giudici took tires, I believe. Right, yeah, Dan Giudici took tires. Baz Luter took tires. Roger Morton took tires. Alan Toon took tires. And Adam Wright is in the pits again. He has spent 5 minutes stopped in the box today and counting,
Yeah.
so I think he's pretty well out of this one.
I would think so, yeah. And Ty Simons has sneaked the lead away from Carl Moore again.
He did.
He has, and Adam Watson, the last to stop, unsurprisingly, given he had topped off early on, is finally down the pit lane for his stop.
Oh,
Gotta
right.
believe he won't be taking tires along with everybody else towards the front. In AM, Ben Cullen has come out behind Jeremiah McClintock by around about a second. So staying out long doesn't seem to have helped.
Multi-21.
I
Is
think
that slowdown?
I think Tice ran wide in the final corner, or
Yeah.
potentially got a slowdown.
I'm still going multi-21 because it's controversial.
Yeah.
Now Ty Simons is in third behind Moore and Crosley. So
Who's this? Oh, this is Adam coming out of pit lane. In front of... Ooh. Alongside this will be by the time they get round this corner.
gonna be close.
Jamie's going to have a bit of a run. And a lot more of a run if he can get a bit of draft, but he's going to be on the wrong
Yeah.
side.
I think Watson's done it.
I think he has as well, although that Ferrari's got some grunt, hasn't it?
Yeah, and his tires will still be cold. It does take a little bit
Yeah.
for the tires to get back up to temp, but he's on the wrong side of the track, unfortunately, here. We'll see if he has a dive on the brakes into this next turn coming
That's
up.
a really
It's definitely
flat
doable.
too.
Yeah, inset pictures on the broadcasts, which is good. We can see what Jamie's doing.
Yeah,
I mean,
Adam drove it in really deep there to avoid Jamie throwing it up the inside. So Adam defending hard here and doing a good job of it to keep that 5th place in hand.
Is, but the real litmus test, I think, is after this next corner here, which is Jun Sao, and the drag up the hill. That Audi's got some grunt, hasn't it?
He got out of the turn well for sure.
Yeah.
Especially considering his tires are still coming up to temperature.
Although that Ferrari is now reeling him in. It's a bit too late, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Got back
definitely.
on him.
Jamie had the toe, but the straight just not really quite long enough for him to make the move happen. As Tice has gotten back by Carl Moore. Dan Crossley is leading this race.
Yeah, what's
from-
going on here?
From his teammates.
Are we just getting points, boys, or what? For leading laps, what's that?
Yeah, really.
Carl Hardy on Marcus Blitz here. Is he going to make it stick around the outside? That would be brave.
It'd be brave, and he's not going to do it.
No.
If he positions his car well here, though, he'll get some hell of a drive round Curva do Sol.
I'm looking at the
Ooh,
pit
look at
stop. This is
Ralph Cullinan.
on Durable.
Yep.
And still Hardy on the work.
This is going to go on a while, I think. Oh, he's a long time in that. Yeah, he's really pushing, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm looking at the pit stop
I get him here.
laps and times for AM, and I'm pretty sure Carl is committed to a 2-stop race, whereas the 2 cars in front of him in AM seem to be good for a 1-stopper. So, though Carl is 3rd at the moment, he's definitely going to have to stop again. And I'm not sure if any of the other cars around him are.
No, and was that Scott Malcolm retaining a position?
It was,
yeah. Baz Sluter is very quick in that Ferrari, it has to be said. There's a vanishing Adam.
Whoa!
What happened?
Adam Watson.
Yeah, ran wide at the final corner, lost 5th place to Jamie Wilson. Managed to keep it out of the wall, but that was a dangerous moment.
Well, I'm going to have to watch that on the Ooh, crikey, he got really close. Sorry, when I get a replay on SDK, I can't see a thing, so...
That was a really twitchy move, let me tell you. He was very close to that guardrail.
We do have some other drivers in the pits again, Frank T-Bosch and Kevin DeWinter. So these will be the guys who are committed to the 2-stop, essentially splitting this race somewhat evenly. Making their final stop at the race now. You imagine you'll see something similar from Carl Hardy fairly soon, as well as who else is doing a 2-stop? It looks like Jamie Jeffrey is doing a 2-stop as well.
I'm going to defer a quick question to Sam. So, since we had the race direction enforce a yellow flag earlier, does that mean that the random doesn't count anymore?
Yeah, you're right.
Right, okay, thank you. So,
If it was yes or no, it doesn't matter. No safety car, because we had one. Except if the track was blocked again by a big crash.
Yeah, so unless we get another pile-up, no more safety cars. And I expect most of the drivers, if not all of them, will know that.
Charles Kellyman here working on Baz Sluter. Baz, as we mentioned, took tires to that pit stop. Kellyman did not, so you'd expect Baz to pull away a little bit here.
Yeah, he tried a move on Scott Malcolm in front of him, and it didn't work. And then he dropped back. So whether that was just him, whether that was just him waiting for his tires to come in, I don't know.
Yeah, currently the highest running of the drivers who took tires is Dan Giudici in 19th overall, and if I count it, I think 10th in AM?
Yep, that'd be right.
No, 9th in AM, sorry.
9th.
Yeah, so Dan Giudici, looking at his lap times, he's among the quickest of the AM drivers at the moment, but it's not dramatically so. So it seems as though those tires aren't doing a whole heck of a lot for him right now, at least. Perhaps more as the race wears on and other drivers. And Ty Simons is in the pits.
Why?
Oh.
Goodness.
Okay, Boxy, you better tell us what's going on here.
Yeah.
Get and find out.
That seems weird.
Because we have no idea. This is very odd. Why would you do that?
Well, he stopped in the box, so it's not just a drive-through.
You think he's got? You think he's
tires?
Yeah, he is.
He's taking tires.
Did he have a flat?
The rear wheel spinning.
Can you end up with a flat?
You can. It's nearly impossible, especially in a race of this distance, but it is something that can happen.
Because this is Martin Verschluven has caught the top 2.
Yeah,
You're right. I wonder if those Paceworks cars have totally fried their tires.
Wow.
Well,
Where they're having to make an extra stop now just to change them.
Yeah,
Martin-
because you were saying that it would be a 50-second stop with tyres. These guys all did 27 seconds-ish. So I wonder if everybody behind them is now going to absolutely muller them because of the tyre situation. What do you reckon?
Yeah, well, and the interesting thing to watch will be if any of the other non-Paceworks McLarens have similar issues, although I think Adam Wright was really the only one of those, and he's already out of the race, so we won't know for sure. But suddenly this race has totally changed shape, and those Paceworks drivers are really, really struggling here.
Well, if you wanted drama, folks, this is it. If you look up the word drama inside the Oxford English Dictionary, there is a picture of 3 Paceworks eSport cars.
Scott Malcolm didn't like Baz Schluter alongside him, so he kind of
Yeah, I know.
moved him over a little bit.
Yeah.
I was going to say before that Martin Van Sluven, through the whole first part of the race, was basically hanging back a little bit from the 3 Paceworks cars that were out front. And he just couldn't seem to get to him. He was kind of hanging back there a second and a half, 2 seconds. And this might be the opportunity he was looking for.
Oop, there's an overtake.
I'm just looking at the lap times, and they're not dramatically off the pace. In fact, the 2 Paceworks cars were among the quickest. Carl Moore, in particular, was the quickest car that last time around.
Ooh.
But
Sorry.
they are really struggling. I've just heard on the voice chat, Jeremiah McClintock is short on fuel.
Oh, you're joking.
That's the AM lead. Ben Cullen's gone through.
Ben Cullen's done him. That was what I was saying a minute ago. Ooh, that's super wide. Marco Lower, he's on a
out
different
in the
track.
green stuff there. Whew.
What's the city next to Sao Paulo in Brazil? So Charles Kellyman has just dropped a position, I think, to Jimmy Custodden, and he's trying to take it back. He's not going to do that though, because that's late braking from Jimmy. And this is the lead.
In front of them is the Scott Malcolm wide vehicle.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, these are still the only drivers doing times in the 33s. So, despite being slow enough for Versluven to catch them, they haven't seemed to have dropped off any more dramatically. So, either Versluven is struggling with his tires as well, or more likely they've figured out what the issue was.
If I was Mr. Versluven right now, though, and I realised what was going on, I would just sit there and wait for them to pit.
Yeah, if they do indeed need to pit, but the problem is I don't think they need to pit. They're just, their pace is suffering, but it's not suffering enough to really make a difference. I mean, even the cars, I'm just looking at Dan Giudici's time, given he's a car on fresh tires, and he did a 34.6, which is, quicker than the AM cars in front of him, but still off the pace of these race leaders. So I think if I'm Versluven, I'm trying to make a move happen. Certainly put pressure on him as much as you can.
Ralph Cullinan trying to make a move on Josh LeBrun.
Or Jacob.
Yeah, him.
And that looks like Jimmy Custodden going around the outside. Ooh, that's close. Outside of Stefan Goebel. Or not. He's going to get him on the cutback. No, he's not. That Mercedes is like 9 foot wide, isn't it? It's crazy. There's a 1X for Jimmy.
This little battle has let Charlie Kellerman pull out a little bit also.
Ooh!
Oh, baby! Oh, wow.
That's not what you want to see.
Well done, though, by Custodden to not take out Stefan Goebel there, because that could have very easily been a 2-car wreck, and he, I think, sacrificed his front end to not involve the second car.
That was,
wow, he drove into the side of him.
That was very, very Stefan Goebel not giving room.
Definitely.
Yeah. That was... There was not a car width there, unfortunately.
No, and he was what should I say, fading toward that side as well.
Yeah.
Oh, very. Yeah, I think that has to be on Stefan there. So this is Chris Shaw being chased down by Jonathan Foote. Where is Adam Watson? He's in front of these guys now, isn't he?
Yeah, but he
he's
hasn't been able to catch back up to Jamie Wilson at the moment. They're
Right.
running pretty similar lap times, but Watson is, because of his slip up in the final turn, he's about 2 seconds behind Jamie, 2.5 seconds. That last time through, though, the time before that, the 3 leaders were slower than the cars behind them. But this last time through, it's the other way around, so they've gone quicker again than the cars behind them. So definitely, if there are tire issues, they're not as dramatic as we suspected.
No, true. Which does beg the question: why did Ty Simons feel it necessary to pit?
Yeah, I'm really miffed at that one. Unless, he was. I mean, it's certainly, we saw he was seemingly struggling with the tires more than the other 2. If he had managed to wear his tires significantly more than these 2, it could have been a puncture, but I don't know. We'll have to find out after the race, I'd imagine.
So I'm just looking at the pro standings at the minute, and Chris Shaw is only 102 points behind. He's currently 4 positions ahead of Tice Simons. So I don't think that's going to be enough for Tice to end up losing the lead of the race. But Martin Verschluven is in 3rd at the moment, so he's going to be several positions ahead of Tice Simons, which is going to give him a points jump, I would think.
And to your point, Foote has just gone by Chris Shaw. Chris Shaw ran wide there.
Right.
But that'll be critical. Obviously, Foote, a teammate to Tice Simons. So him getting by Chris Shaw and potentially holding that position will be a big help towards Tice Championship challenge.
I would definitely say so.
And I believe as far as team standings go, Foote and Simons are the teammates for that specific branch of Paceworks.
Yeah, sorry. Stefan Goebel and who was that?
That was Kellyman, I believe.
Yeah, Charles Kellyman, yeah.
Moore and Crossley have pulled a bit of a gap on Verschluven as we see the battle for 15th, LeBrun and Cullinan.
This has been brewing for a while, this one.
It has, and I think they've traded places at least once. And
Yeah.
it looks like Cullinan wants it back. They'll have to be careful, though, because not terribly far behind them. Well, somewhat behind them is Dan Giudici, who is running lap times about 2 seconds a lap quicker than these guys on his fresh tires. So,
Yes.
and the more they fight, the more they're going to wear their tires, and the slower they're going to go. So,
I do like Dan's paint job with the Italian colours on it. I think it's very stylish. When we get to see that Audi again.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
really
that
quickly.
Wow.
Verschluven for second.
It was.
How about that?
Dan Crossley shuffled back.
He was sure looking for that.
So the Paceworks blue arrows are not looking as refined as they were earlier in the race.
No, and it looked like Crossley might have been forced wide by his teammate there. Like he was
Right.
making a move to the outside
It did kind of, yeah.
and tried to brake later than Carl, and Carl kind of faded over into him. So obviously not the best angle for that, and it's possible there was nothing going on there. But it certainly looked as though there was some perhaps missed team messages there.
And that's Barry van Englenhoven trying to work over Marco Luer.
Look at this, look at
And this is race lead.
Oh, this is. I don't know. I think these McLarens have chewed their tyres.
Look
It
at
certainly
this.
seemed-
Wow.
Oh, that was close.
Pete's gone high pitched. It must be exciting.
Yeah, it does seem that way, but really Versluven is the only car who's been able to match their pace. They're still running quicker than everybody else in the field.
He seems to be pulling away a little bit too. A little bit, not
I'm
much.
just going to say the same thing. He's absolutely launched out of the last turn there.
And even Ty Simons, who, remember, came to pit for tires, is running lap times pretty much exactly the same as these two McLarens out front. So,
Well, after his return to the track, he hasn't made much ground so far. He's lingering back in 8th place.
yeah, and he's well behind Chris Shaw, and at the pace they're going, he's not going to catch him before this race is over. So, I don't know. I think Versluven has just found some extra pace. I mean, it's possible that he's been better, kinder on his tires than the Paceworks McLarens, but if that's the case, he's the only one, it seems.
Well, let me ask you,
do that.
what do you
Hey,
think?
there's Alan's car again.
What do you think he has for nitrous shot under there? He must have given a little bit of nitrous.
This is still Van Englenhoven and Lewert.
Yeah,
Lewert still defending aggressively to the inside here.
You know, the more I think about it, I think Van Sluven was pretty smart. He was hanging back, waiting, and he pounced on the opportunity.
I think that is exactly what's happened. And I think this little battle here is going to go on for several laps.
And Crosley has got by Moore. That's not how they were, was it? Moore was leading.
No, Moore was in
when
front of
Versluven
Crosley.
took the lead.
Maybe they're trying to get him to. They're working together, I think, trying to catch up with Van Sluven.
It does seem that way, unless
Yeah.
Moore made a mistake somewhere. But
They are closing on Martin again.
Whoa! Why did he move inside there? I mean, he had no chance.
yeah, and you don't want to be trying to scare your teammate.
Oh, Marco.
What's happened here?
Well, it was Marco fighting with Barry Van Englenhoven.
Yeah,
So what's happened?
Marco's done it himself, it looks like.
On his own. Oh no! And then he's going to hit the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, no brakes. I'll stop here. Okay.
Well, there's no. But it's grass on iRacing, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's got less traction than ice.
it really does.
So yeah, all on his own, got a bit of a tank slapper going.
Yeah, so that's decided, that battle there, as we see the battle for the AM lead. If he is short on fuel, Jeremiah McClintock is not going to do anything about it, because he is...
If he was short on fuel and Ben is listening to the broadcast, you'd think he would just slot in behind him and just wait for him to stop and then get you victory.
Well, it was a conversation I'd heard between the two of them on the voice chat, so Ben is definitely aware of the situation, regardless of what we say on the broadcast. So I think if he's still fighting him, he must think that McClintock can make it, as now Crosley
Now they're side by
loses
each.
second to his teammate.
I wonder if they're swapping positions to see who can try to get into Martin Van Sluven or something, try to track him down.
Adam Watson is upset with somebody.
Stefan,
Must be a
I
lap
think,
car because he's not near anyone on track. He's fighting for position with.
Jonathan Foote in the Audi, and I don't know what position he's in, 6th position.
Oh, what's that?
Ralph Cullinan parked for some reason.
Maybe he's taking a rest.
Yeah. Carl
Very
Hardy
odd.
is in the
Be
pits
right
for
here.
his.
Woo!
Don't know what that is, but he's just stopped.
Yeah, that looks like a hardware failure of some
I
sort.
wonder, yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a network deal or something.
Carl Hardy is making his final stop of the day from third in AM. He had a decent gap over LeBrun, but LeBrun has come through, as has Van Englenhoven, as has Dan Giudici.
I really wonder with the amount of time we have left, Carl's, I don't think got time to get back where he is now, I don't think.
No, he's not
We've got
miles off
13
Dan
minutes
Giudici.
just for your information.
He's not miles off Dan Giudice, or Marco Lewert for that matter. But that'll be a tall order for Carl to...
Sorry.
That's all right. You're allowed to react, Pete.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Adam Watson's in the pits again. That must be for the damage repair he was talking about. But the battle for the lead is on. And whoever is in that BMW is not giving any help to Martin Verschluven, that's for sure.
No.
I think
that's
that's,
TV, Carl.
It is. I believe that's Jamie Jeffrey.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Now backed off.
Well, if you want camera footage, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, McClintock's gotten by Cullen.
Oh, here we go again.
We've got two great lead battles going here
Yeah, we
today.
do. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Look at that. Wow.
That's just horsepower. That's just drive off the corner.
Yeah, it's very easy there to clip the inside curve and
and
just
get
have
bound.
the traction control
Yeah.
catch you. And I'd imagine Ben just had the traction control kick in a bit more than he would have liked there, and it cost him to McClintock.
Yep, looked exactly like that.
Well, the
Although
McLaren,
you do take a lot of curb there, don't you?
Yeah,
Naturally.
you have to. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crucial that you catch some of the inside curve, but especially late in the race as the tires start to wear, the more you take of that curb, the more you risk getting thrown sideways and having the traction control come in. As we might see a pass for the lead here. Martin's defending the inside, but Carl is... Oh,
why did
boy.
he go out there?
Oh, there's a bit of a bang.
No harm, no foul so far.
That
Yeah.
was excellent driving by Carl Moore, because if he moved to the inside early, then that would have given Martin the chance to
That's true.
make for the wide line earlier and have a better line through the corner. But by waiting till that sort of last moment, it's kind of like a game of chicken. Martin could have stayed in that middle line, but if he did, Carl could have
Here we are,
jumped to the
on board
outside.
with
Yeah.
Carl.
Yeah, if Martin holds that middle line, then Carl jumps to the outside and pressures him around that way, maybe gets
Yep.
the over-under. But by sticking directly in behind him, the onus is on Martin to make that move first.
Yep.
And Carl gets to decide where he wants to put the car. And it worked to perfection there to take the lead.
Yep, good move. Very bold.
It's been a great battle all day up here between these guys.
This
It
race
sure
has been
has.
brilliant, yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
if you look a few seconds back down the road and find Jeremiah McClintock and Ben Cullen, it's still going on.
As is Chris Shaw and Adam Watson. Adam
Yep.
had to make that extra pit stop to take his fast repair
Oh, right.
after he had some contact with a lapped car.
Yeah, I think it was Stefan Goebel by the sound of the dialogue in the
Yeah,
chat.
I didn't catch the names when it was coming through the voice chat, but
Martin Van Sloe is in a pacework sandwich right now.
okay, just hearing from Carl that whoever had stopped
Ralph, yeah.
Ralph, lost VR. So
Oh, man.
as we thought,
Yeah.
hardware failure.
That's really sad. It's like Bill was saying before, that's the worst thing you want. You can literally throw a Rizzler paper over these three, though. Look at them.
Absolutely, and I've been in this position that Martin's in right now, having to deal with two cars, two teammates in a fight for the lead, and it's not fun.
No.
Because you have to be fighting two cars, and they only have to fight one. So
Yeah.
Martin's doing a really good job, though, to hang on to the back of Carl despite the pressure from Dan Crosley behind him.
You have to have eyes in the front and the back at the same time,
And
Tyler.
look at the size difference of that Ferrari compared to the McLaren. The McLaren looks like a tiny little buggy. The Ferrari's massive compared to it.
It does seem like it, which is funny because the Ferrari is not a big car
No.
either, especially when you compare it to some of the like the BMW GTE car, which is
Well,
massive.
Yeah, that's like a double-decker bus from London, isn't it? Takes you 10 minutes to pass it.
I was going to say a river barge, but okay.
Yeah.
With wheels on it.
Yep. This is Stefan closing in on the back of Charles Kellyman. And behind them, I think they're about to get lapped. I think.
No,
Yeah,
that's Tice on Chris Shaw, so crucial for the championship here.
really is.
Whoa!
Chris defending hard, but Tice on fresh tires wants through, and I think he's going to get it sooner
Well, they should
rather
get it
than
on
later.
braking here. Yeah. Block pass. Well, not even a block pass. He was through the corner before Chris had even
Well
turned
done,
it.
and Chris professionally worked with him, didn't crowd him too much.
Yeah. I mean, it was. There's no fight in that, is there? When there's fresh rubber on the other tire, on the other car, rather.
Who's lagging along there? That was
I
like
think Ben's gone through. Yep. So there's
Oh,
the
yeah.
angle
Wow.
change once
Look
again.
at that.
Also, Ben's been in the chat to tell me that it wasn't a loss of traction out of the final corner and that I was wrong, which I don't appreciate, Ben. I choose to believe instead that I am right and it was a loss of traction.
Yeah, don't buckle to the pressure he's putting you under.
Go easy
Fine, I
on
can
us, Ben.
just,
We're doing the best we can. Come on. Look at this, Dan and
Whoa!
Dan and Marco.
Yep, that was a bit of a
Touchy
almost a hip
feely.
check. Yeah.
Yep.
it definitely looks like an Italian flag, Pete.
Yeah. Ben's a bit touchy about his traction, isn't he? By the look of the message in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know what that's
He needs,
about.
he needs to put his handbag away, stop listening to the chat, and get on with the racing.
I mean, I feel like the more we talk about him, the more he's forced to reply in the chat, and the more likely he is to lose the race lead. So
Yeah.
I think we should just kind of keep talking about Ben here.
Absolutely.
Making wrong assumptions about him as Tice gets by Adam Watson there for 6th place.
Yeah, Adam's going to be probably very annoyed about that because he launched off in 2nd place from the start, didn't he?
Well, he didn't even make it to the start-finish line before he had that disconnect. So
Oh no, he didn't, did he? Yeah.
yeah, so he's
Yeah,
done
he
well
was-
to get back up to it, but
Oh yeah.
unable to challenge for the win here today.
He's driven really hard all day under a lot of tough conditions.
Yep. 5 minutes to go, guys.
Moore and Versluven have dropped Crosley just a little bit. It's about a second now between Versluven and Crosley as we see Dan Giudici making a move back on Lewert, and Lebrun is into the pit lane. So that was 3rd place in AM. That's now gone to Barry Van Englenhoven.
Might be low on fuel.
Yep.
Perhaps, yeah, that also promotes Dan Giudici and Carl Hardy into the top 5, or into 4th and 5th rather, in AM. So
Dan Guidici trying to make a move the outside, cuts back in behind him.
Oh, it's going to be a great move if he can get this done. Around the outside here.
got the pace.
He has. Oh, he's not got the track
Wow!
position
No.
though.
He might not be able to hold it though. Oh, good job,
Yeah, that was-
Marco.
Yeah, that was a good move by Marco.
I thought he was going to go off there.
Has LeBron done a drive-through or a pit stop?
Let me check.
Oh, he's done
Oh.
the crash.
That's
Yes.
Jamie Jeffrey.
Hey,
No, that was
Hey.
LeBron.
that was LeBron leaving pits.
Oh, was
I
it?
think.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes,
Oh,
he's done a Bill Switzer.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
a little bit of grass there on the pit exit. And he
Yep.
likely dropped a wheel in it and
He
lost
didn't
it.
hit anything, which is a miracle.
I
He
usually don't
did.
get that.
No, he didn't.
Pete, I don't
Did he?
usually get that far. I hit the first wall on the left turn there.
Yeah. He did stop in his pit stall though, Pete. So
Oh, right, okay. I didn't know whether he
Yeah.
got punished for too many incidents.
And Jeremiah McClintock is back around Ben Cullen again.
yeah.
So I'm only showing. Well, he's out. Mark Heron's not in the race anymore anyway. I'm only showing Roger Morton and Alan Toon and Adam Watson as having over 20 incidents. So has Adam had to do a drive-through? Is that what you were saying before about him entering pit lane, Tyler?
Oh, that's a good point. I thought he had come through to repair some damage, and it does show him as having stopped in the box. So
Oh, right.
I'm not showing him as having
He's
over
just
20
really going at it. This is something.
off track. So
Look
What
at
have you
that.
got him down as?
9.
9.
Wow, look at that. Nice pass,
Crazy.
Dan.
Moving car I'm seeing as over 20 is Alan Toon at the moment.
Yes.
Dan Guidici did a great over-under on that car.
He did, yeah, that was a good move.
Don't get over your head now. Keep you cool.
As
Somebody
Lebrun
else
is back
is
into the pits to get the damage repaired. Yeah,
See, I don't know why he's in there because he didn't actually hit anything that I saw.
that's true. It might be for some other reason, I guess.
And Martin,
Maybe he's just given up.
Martin Van Sluven's putting on a charge
And
trying to catch
McClintock
Carl Moore.
hits, so he was short on
Oh
fuel.
boy. Oh man.
Hey,
Just hand Ben Cullen a win, why don't you?
His win is basically done now.
I think so.
Yeah,
Wow.
you have 7 minutes to minutes, so I wouldn't say it's done.
yeah.
Huh? Then
Yeah.
True, Sam.
on.
You're right.
He's having a pop at the commentators on the chat, so we're going to have to go
don't-
back. So no pressure, Ben, but we're going to watch your every move
Yeah,
to the
at
end
least
of the
he
race.
do agree with me, so thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
Ben does seem to forget that at least some of us here in the booth have race control privileges. So.
yeah.
And it's now Carl Hardy's turn to take a stab at Marco Lewert. A couple of BMWs here, and Marco's
Look at
run
that. He's
wide.
I think he did that because he's. Oh, he is on the same lap.
Yeah.
All right. So Marco got well out of the way for him then,
No.
and let him
Seems that
go.
way. Yeah.
Carl Moore's pulled out one heck of a lead at the moment here.
He has. He's
Yeah,
got
you're
one.
right. Versluven's dropped back into the clutches of Crosley here.
Yes, he
Yeah.
does.
Carl's got a 1.3 second lead, which really doesn't sound like a lot, does it? But it's about as much as anybody's had in this race so far.
Except it's just
It's Marco saving fuel.
Marco.
Marco.
Oh, right.
yeah, that's a good thought.
Yeah. Good call, Sam.
And one of our former leaders, Ty Simons,
He
is
pit on lap
just up
20.
the fifth.
He pit on lap 27, which is in line with everybody else, if a bit early. But his teammate is in the pits now, Marcus Bletz. So perhaps the VTS cars. And now that you mention it, we saw Jeremiah McClintock, who is also a VTS car,
Yeah.
make
right.
a late pit stop. So
wow.
seems
Team
perhaps.
strategy.
And Lebrun as well. Lebrun is a VTS car, isn't he? So
Yep.
it does seem as though the VTS cars have all just gotten their pit calculations a little bit wrong.
Carl
Very
Moore.
much looks that way. Sorry, go on, Bill.
Carl Moore stretching an output of lap car between himself and Martin Van Sluven coming into curve of one.
Yeah, and Versluven's got Crosley hot under his tail. So
For sure.
Oh, that was wide as well.
now, now it seems like Martin's lost his tires just a little bit in the Ferrari.
Yeah, Dan's
So-
going to get a good run down here.
Oh, that's Wassenhoff again.
Oh. On his own, do we think? He's going to get the slowdown of the century for going that way.
Oh dear.
I can't see it, so you're going to have to talk it, Tyler.
He
All
just
by
spun.
himself. It was
Yeah.
all by himself. Whoa!
Nearly collected Chris Shaw there.
Oh, sure did.
That seemed to have been the trouble with the Audi when I was testing. Was
Just like
if-
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just kind of would go on you occasionally.
So you
usually
lost
it was if you were just carrying a little bit too much speed through or got on the throttle a little bit too soon.
So you were losing the back end then, correct?
yeah, exactly, just like Adam Watson did there. Crosley is all over
Wow.
Martin Versluven here,
Yeah, he is.
working their way past or towards Carl Hardy, who's just been put a lap down by the race leader.
This has been one of the most exciting races of this series.
It really has. It's been wonderful. And I think it's got a lot to do with the track we're on, too. As I
Yes,
said,
I'd agree with that.
it's never liked me, but I'll tell you, this is a really fabulous race course.
Yeah, for sure. And Jeremiah McClintock was 2 seconds quicker than Ben Cullen that last time through. That's not going to be enough to make that gap up, but
No, and I think we're coming up to the last lap of the race, and I'll trust Sam to tell us when the leaders are on it.
I think next time by the middle of
No.
one, so it's the penultimate lap.
Okay, thank you for that, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
It's gonna be like yesterday at Spa in the GT4.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
a few seconds.
Seconds, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Dan's really wriggling to get past him now.
he is, and this has given Carl Moore a substantial lead here in the
Yeah.
plan.
Yep.
Martin Van Sluven has to pull out every defensive trick he's got in his book because Dan Crosley wants by badly.
He does, and
very nicely.
if he does, then it puts more points between Tice Simon and Martin Versluven, because obviously Tice is behind these guys.
Yeah, he's currently in 5th place.
Yeah,
So-
Tice has done well to come back through just a bit, although he did have some help from teammates not putting up a fight. But
Oh, sure.
to get back up to 5th, despite having to make an extra pit stop compared to everybody else here,
I'd sure like to know why
impressive.
he had to stop. It doesn't make sense to me.
It's another scalp, is it, for Daniel Giudici?
Yeah, on Marcus Bletz there.
Yep. Oh, here we go. Under braking into Senaresses. Nicely done.
Oh, yeah.
Just got the last lap message from race control, so we are on the final go around. Versluven's actually closed that gap back to within a second, which is that's about a half second close in the last lap, but he's going to have to push hard to make the rest of that up before this race is over, and he's still got to worry about Dan Crossley behind him.
Yeah, I think he has more attention on Dan Crosley than he does Carl Moore at this point.
I think so. Dan's showing his nose in a lot of places to let him know he's there.
Yep.
The Ferrari
Big
does well
fire.
in this section. He seems to close up through there.
Now, you'd expect it to be the McLaren that picked up in the tighter section, because it's the more manoeuvrable of the two, to my knowledge.
Hard to tell, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't get to test the Ferrari, so I'm really not sure how it compares to the McLaren from the new build, but doesn't seem like Martin's going to have anything for Carl Moore, and he got a little loose coming off the final corner, so Crossley might have a run coming to the line here.
Carl Moore.
And it's a long way to the line. Yeah.
Yeah, it
It
is.
is indeed.
Could be exciting.
But he does. Moore's out of fuel.
What
Moore's
on
out of fuel.
Oh, goodness. Oh.
And it spun out his teammate.
Wow.
What on earth
Martin
just
Van
happened?
Sluven ends up being the winner. Wow. What?
Oh my goodness.
Crazy.
Wow, what the heck happened there? Did he
Oh,
run?
no.
Moore
there
ran
you
out
go.
of fuel coming to the line.
Wow.
That's unreal.
Look at this.
Unbelievable. And well, that was a bit of a
Oh, goodness.
cheeky move across in
That's a
front of
NASCAR
Versluven there.
finish, no?
Wow.
My goodness.
There.
Yeah, that was a NASCAR finish. You're absolutely right.
That was unbelievable.
Well, if you wanted drama, folks, you got it.
Oh, my.
And some.
All right, we got Marcus Bletz and Daniele Guidici on the screen here.
It looks like Dan's going to be able to hold him off here, unless Marcus gets a real nice run through the last few corners. This is obviously for position on track, but not in class, since Marcus is in the pro category.
Yeah.
Did Ben... What happened to Ben Cullen?
I don't know. It's now
He's
second.
suddenly showing behind Barry Van Englenhoven.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Did Ben run out of fuel?
I don't know. Ben, what happened to you?
Well,
Explain yourself.
we're going to have to figure that out in the interviews, I would think.
Goodness gracious.
Okay, Daniel Guidici finished ahead of Marcus Bletz.
I'm wondering if it might be a connection thing, because I saw Ben blink as out for a second. And
Right.
there's no interval showing between the two of them.
What does iRacing say?
That's a good question, actually. iRacing says Ben in front.
Right, okay. I think it's an SDK. I think
Yeah.
you're right. Oh, my word.
That was the finish
It
for
was.
the overall
And
win.
I'm still stunned by it,
It is
honestly.
absolutely incredible. Incredible.
That's just
All right.
wild.
Here's Carl Moore in the lead. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and he makes a move to the right. I don't know whether he was trying to block or what, but
Yeah, something happened. He said out of gas or something. I'm not quite
He
sure
ran
what.
out of
Oh,
fuel.
he
For
did
sure.
run out of
He was sputtering there. Here's the view from
Dan
Oh.
Crossley.
second place
Oh.
finisher.
this is going to get messy quickly because there's a car. Oh,
Oh,
man.
And Carl almost made it to the line ahead of these two.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That was unbelievably close.
Martin van Schluven must think all his Christmases came at once.
Wow, there's a bent up. There's a
goodness.
bent up
Yeah.
Blue Angel right there. Wow.
So, right. Are they
Wow.
cars still crossing the line? I have no idea right now.
Yeah, it looks like most of them are finished. I think.
Right, I'm gonna go and find the rules. 'cause-
Okay, we got the race results here.
Right, do you want to start with that, guys?
Sure.
'Cause I'm gonna find
Sure.
out about the points difference.
The winner in an unbelievable finish was Martin van Schluven for Dutch's Esports. Dan Crosley finished in second, Paceworks Esports. Third, Carl Moore, Paceworks Esports. Fourth, Jamie Wilson in a great drive, Team Chimera. Fifth place was Ty Simons, who came back from God knows why you stopped. In fifth place, Paceworks Esports. Sixth, Jonathan Foote, Paceworks Esports. Seventh, Chris Shaw, Ascari Autosport. Eighth, Adam Watson after an adventurous day, Pacework Esports Black. And in ninth, the first, that's showing Ben Cullen here.
Yep,
Yeah, that's
Ben,
right,
Ben
that's
did
right.
get it.
All right, the first place in the AM was Ben Cullen, overall ninth, Northern Lights Racing, Scuderia Haggis. 10th, Barry Bang Englehoven in Deutsches Esports. 11th, Jeremiah McClintock after a late pit stop, BTS USA Black. 12th, Danielle Gudici from BSTV Esports. 13 was a pro driver, Marcus Bletz, BTS Germany Black. 14th, Carl Hardy, Result Headwear. 15th, another pro, Marcus Lewert, BTS Germany Black. 16th, Jamie Jeffrey, CCR. 17th, Bas Schluter, Deutsches Gaming. 18th, Charles Kellerman. And, wait a minute, hold on a minute, what was he for? Oh, yeah, Optical. 19th, John Redwine, BTS USA Yellow. 20th, Larry Delange, Dutch's Esports. 21st, Jacob Lebrun, or as I call him, Josh, BTS USA Yellow. 22nd, Devin Goebel, BTS Germany Yellow. 25th, Frank T-Bosch, Result Spiro maybe. 24th, Scott Malcolm, BST Forza Haggis. 25th, Andy Maxwell, Optical. 26th, Kevin DeWinter, Stage 1 Racing. 27th, Roger Morton, Safeguard by Result. 28th, Alan Toon, Safeguard by Result. 29th, Ralph Cullinan, Work Guard by Result. 30th, Jamie Castauden, Result Clothing. 31st, which was a pro driver, Sammy Vitor, Paceworks Esports Yellow. 32nd, Paul Robinson, VTS USA Black. 33rd, Adam Wright, in another adventurous day, BSTV Esports. 34, Mark Heron, Asymmetric. 35th, Luka Lechevic, Paceworks Esports. I cannot say that. Ireland.
I think we're cut off on the bottom, but Rob Blackmore finished last.
Oh, I don't
Also
have it
for
on here.
Paceworks, I believe. Yeah, it wasn't showing on
Okay,
my standings.
so there you have the official results.
Cool. So, wow. I mean, I don't even know how you start summing that up because there was just so much going on.
Yeah.
Bill, what was your take on that race?
I'll tell you, it was very exciting. I have to say that I never expected what happened on the last lap. Obviously, it was a surprise for everybody, I'm sure, but it was very exciting. And Martin van Schluven tried really hard all day. He got a tremendous break there, but certainly he didn't get a given. I mean, he worked for it. So, but sad that the Paceworks guys had a little issue there, but it is what it is. And congratulations to Martin.
Yeah, and Tyler?
Yeah, that had something for everybody, I'd say. And nice to see some strategic elements introduced after this latest build. There was fuel issues, there were tire issues. I think we got it all, and we got great lead battles through most of the race in both classes, which is awesome.
Yeah, it was just unreal, that. So I'm going to get the first of our interviews into the booth. And we should, if everything works out well, we should have Martin Verschluven in the interview room. Good evening, Martin.
Good evening.
What a surprise! Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I bet starting the last lap, you thought, nah, second will do me. What on earth? You must have
Yeah.
worked all night for that. That's crazy. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the last 3 laps I was really defending for my P2, and then suddenly, Carl lost speed on the straight, and yeah, I think he hadn't any fuel left or something, but yeah, really strange. But
We
yeah.
did the on board with him, and he was definitely out of fuel.
Okay.
He seemed to move across the front of you, and despite you like coming together, you still managed to slide sideways across the finish line first.
Yeah, I was. He went a little bit to the right, but yeah, the closing speed was so much that I almost hit him. Or I hit him, but yeah,
And
still finished P1.
Yeah, fantastic, and congratulations. We saw you make your way through the Paceworks Esports McLaren formation driving team, which is what was in front of you for
Yeah.
a lot of the race. But you started to pick them off. And Ty Simons pitted for what we think was tyres, because we think he got through them pretty quick. You took tyres, and were you sitting behind them knowing that they would eventually have to pit and take some tyres, or were you racing hard all the way through?
No, I haven't picked tires at my stop.
Ah, right.
So the last laps was difficult on the tires, but yeah, it was okay. But I was surprised that tires pitted again. So yeah, after that I could close them. But in the beginning of the race, the train was going too fast for me.
So if you didn't take tyres, you pulled back onto the rear of that 3-car train just through maintaining your own tyre wear. Then that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm surprised because in practice the tire wear was a lot higher than today. But I think without a safety car, I don't think you manage to get back the 30 seconds of the tire change.
No, true.
So
Yeah, and obviously the lap 1 pile up at turn 3 resulted in the safety car. Did that change your strategy a lot, or not at all?
because with that safety car it changed to 1 stop. I think without a safety car it would be a 2-stop race. So that's the only difference.
Yep, that qualifies Tyler to return again, because that's exactly what he said. So yeah, congratulations on your win. Is there anybody out there that you'd like to have a shout out to, or thank for their contribution to your victory?
I think I have to thank Carl because he hadn't any fuel left. Yeah, to be fair.
That's brilliant. Yeah, totally. And you've pulled, how much points have you pulled here? Just let me figure this out a minute. So you've pulled 40 points on Ty Simons. So that gets you, I mean, you've still got 100 and something points to go there. And also a similar amount on Chris Shaw. So it's still a bit of a gap to the top of the pro standings, but you've secured your 3rd place because AAA didn't race tonight. So you've got a bit of an extra gap there. So a double win for you, really, when you think of it that way.
Yeah, no, for me, I think the top 3 is the 3rd place in the championship is the maximum at this moment.
Well, I'll tell you, Martin, you sure made it exciting today. I'll tell you, I really thought when you were sitting behind those 3 guys most of the race, I thought, man, he is the most patient man. I mean, sitting there and just on and on and on, and it didn't seem like you had the ability to get by him. But all of a sudden, getting toward the end of the race a little bit, they kind of slipped up, and you got by them, and you put out a pretty good lead. You got out in front of those guys, and then all of a sudden they kind of fought back, and you guys were going back and forth, and then you were a Paceworks sandwich there for a while too.
Yeah.
And boy, I'll tell you, that last lap, that avoidance move that you made, that was a Hail Mary move. Let me tell you, I can't believe you got by him, but that was tremendous. Really, really a great win for you, man.
Yeah, it was a good evening. Didn't expect it.
Well, doesn't that make it sweeter, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you very much for a very entertaining evening. Our first place finisher overall and in pro, Martin Versleven.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I've got the hang of this now. Right, okay. So, who's next? Let's bring in Mr. We'll bring. Oh, didn't click that very well. Mr. Jamie Wilson for you, Tyler, if you want to talk through the race with him.
Yeah, Jamie, it was, I think once you kind of got by Chris Shaw, it was a bit of a quiet race for you. Besides a late battle with Adam Watson, I think it was. You seemed to have the pace to kind of clear the back half of the pro field, but not quite keep up with the Blue Angels, as Bill dubbed them, the Paceworks McLaren flying at the front of the field. Did you were you kind of managing pace to keep the tires under you, or was it just what you had?
Well, different bits of the race, to be honest. There was the point, let's say after I passed Chris, I was having this sort of lap time battle with Watson, and that was quite interesting. But because before the stops, he was just eating the gap like crazy, like half a second a lap. I was really struggling at that point compared to him. And then once he came out of the pits, and then he had a little mistake. After that, I was thinking he's just going to close me up again. And there was this kind of 2.6, 3-second gap. And I was absolutely just throwing the car around the track as fast as I possibly could just to match his lap times, which was one of those kind of battles at a distance that aren't particularly exciting to watch from outside, but it's quite interesting being part of it. And then you get trouble, and which is unfortunate. And ended up being quite quiet. I hear there's a load of drama that went on. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, there was quite the finish, kind of checkers and wreckers, as it were. But we did hear Martin, who ended up winning in his Ferrari, say that he saw a lot more tire wear in practice than he did in the race. Was that a concern of yours going into it, or were you expecting to get to the finish all right on the tires you had?
I thought it'd be fine. I hadn't done a lot of testing at all in the Ferrari. I mean, I was just on the medium downforce endurance setup, pretty much out of the box. So, I could have done with switching to a different gear stack in hindsight, but never mind. But yeah, no, I didn't think it would be a problem, but there did seem to be in the last 10-15 minutes, I kind of did hit a bit of a cliff. I don't know what my percentages were. I'll have to look that up, but They felt pretty dead at the end, more than I expected. And fuel was a concern as well, which is somewhat self-inflicted because we weren't, the way the strategy worked out, I could have put a bit more margin in, but I didn't on as much the side of caution as I usually do, so I was a bit conscious that when I was having to pump those lap times in, I was eating into my kind of budget for fuel. But that ended up being fine just about.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we saw fuel was definitely a concern, I think, for pretty much everybody in the front group. We saw it was Carl Moore who ran out coming to the line, which created the dramatic finish we saw. We also saw a lot of the VTS cars have all sorts of trouble with their fuel calculations. So it seemed like everyone was struggling a little bit. So I don't think you were alone in that regard. I don't know if it's something to do with the update or just everybody playing it a little fast and loose with their refueling or their refueling software. I'm sure the safety car threw some things into the mix. We saw that happen in our GT4 race yesterday where the safety car came out and it threw everybody's fuel calculations off. Do you think, were you shooting for a two-stopper until that happened, or was the plan always to do one stop?
I just assumed it would be a two-stop when the safety car just put it the other side of that line. Not by a lot, but in theory, if I'd tanked the car at that point, then I would have had another maybe 2 laps of fuel. So it was just because I was just trying to eke as quick a pit stop as possible, and it didn't end up costing me. But it's just the thought was in the back of my mind, watching the numbers, thinking, "Ooh, I need to be a little more light-footed," all the while having Watson, closing in 2 tenths on one lap or something, and thinking, "Oh no, I can't lift off that much." So. It was interesting. It was a shame that some things ended up being decided by other factors. The traffic got involved. I know Adam Watson had his issue, and I needed some new trousers near the end as well. And it's unfortunate. I mean, most of the time it's fine, but there's a couple of people that aren't quite switched on. You know, when they've got a train of cars or an obvious race going on, coming up behind, and they're in a void. They're not seeing what's going on, and that's unfortunate. But that's just the nature of that's just racing, isn't it? I'm at the end of the day, I'm chuffed to get fourth, or a top 5 in general. So yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, I think I'd be lying if I said we didn't all have those moments where we let our spatial awareness slip a little bit. And of course, it's unfortunate for anybody to have run-ins with cars that aren't necessarily racing with them. But I think that's in a field this big and with this big of a spread of pace levels, it's not altogether unsurprising for sure. But anyone you'd like to thank, Jamie, before we let you go here? I'd
like to thank my own teammate Ben Tusting for not turning up, because that made me look better. And I think something came up. He was preparing, but I think something came up, which is a shame. But but no, you guys as usual. Looking forward to finding out what happened by watching the excellent Backfire broadcast that I'm sure will entertain me rigorously when I view it later. And yeah, the rest, the other guys I was racing, Chris, as always, class racer. That was probably one of the tighter fights that I was involved in. And yeah, just the field in general. It's always good fun doing these.
Very good. Your 4th place finisher, Jamie Wilson, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, I'm going to bring in the mouth, which is Ben Cullen, into the live booth now. So we should have our man of attitude, Ben Cullen. In the chat. Yeah, the ego that is Ben Cullen. Good evening, Ben.
I'd just like to put people straight.
Well, you certainly attempted that. However, this is BSTV, and we really don't care. So, you were in the thick of it for a lot of that race.
Yeah, me and Jeremiah at the front, nice and civil, we'll say.
It was very professional racing, to be fair. Right until the point when I think Jeremiah had to pit for fuel, because it looked like all the VCS guys had calculated their fuel not quite as accurately as others.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure what he'd calculated at. Obviously, with the safety car throwing out at the beginning, it kind of messes up people's fuel calculations. Some people, I think, maybe have got caught out and not fuel saved during those 3 or 4 laps, which then stung them.
Did you get caught up in the turn 3 massive pile-up? I can't remember.
No, that was behind me. I think that was
right.
Mid-pack to the rear pack, I think.
Because you had damage when you pitted, didn't you? Because we saw it get fixed with your auto repair.
I don't know.
Yeah, your car looked like it had damage anyway, so I don't think there was 2 BMWs for Northern Lights, was there?
No, I was the only car.
Yeah.
Car for Northern Lights.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe a bit of neck damage or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I only had 1X for the race, and that was an off-track, so I don't know where I picked that up.
Oh, well, you've done that well, then, because generally you pick up quite a few going around Interlagos. There's a few run wide.
I thought you were going to say generally you pick up quite a few.
Yeah, just stop the sentence there. Yeah, why not? Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
He was, but he backpedaled a little bit.
Yeah. I'll remember that for next time, though, because that'd be funny.
You're welcome.
Thanks. So, congratulations on winning the AM class of the race for GT3. Anybody you would like to attribute this win to or thank, other than yourself? Because we know your ego is quite big.
Anybody in the booth maybe would be.
Yeah, any one of us. That'd be fine.
Thanks, Sam.
There you go.
No worries, Ben. I
Brilliant,
appreciate it. Thank you.
Sam's
Good job
Sam
on your
speaks
win.
reason. He speaks the voice of calm. Tyler just spews out facts randomly that are incorrect. I think the Sun journalist is more accurate than him.
Oh, Oh dear, fighting talk.
Ooh.
So, any other standout moments from your race?
So the big point of my race, what I had to get sorted, was after that safety car restart. I had Marco and Marcus in front of me, and then Jeremiah in front of them, and they were going to blatantly slow me down to try and obviously let Jeremiah get through. So I had to get past, and I paid attention to what Tice did at the start, where he backed everybody up.
Yep.
So I waited for him to back everybody up, and then I cheekily pulled to the side. And then as I saw him go, that's how I jumped Marco and Marcus.
Nice tactic. Like it.
And yeah, otherwise, if I'd have been stuck behind them for 2-3 laps, Jeremiah would have been probably in a distance where I couldn't have caught him.
Yeah, and your race with Jeremiah went on for quite a number of laps, so it was very entertaining from what we saw. Again, anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Thanks, Sam.
Just Sam. Awesome. In that case, congratulations, our first place finisher for AM GT3, Ben Cullen.
Yeah, nice
Thanks,
job.
guys. Thank you.
Right then, we've had another high up finisher sneak into the interview room, so I'm going to get in Dan Crossley for you, Tyler, when I can find the words live booth in front of my eyes. So in here is Dan Crossley now. Good evening, Dan.
Good evening, how are we doing?
All good. I'm going to hand you over to Tyler.
Yeah, Dan, our perhaps unexpected second place finisher. Did you think going into the final corner that you would be the highest finishing of the Paceworks McLarens?
I really did not, I'll be honest. I knew Carl was running low on fuel, but I did not expect to pip him at the line, as the way I pipped him at the line backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think it would have been helpful if your teammate had given you some warning that perhaps, hey, you might want to duck to the inside because I'm running out of fuel here, instead of letting you get knocked around across the finish line. But it was great for us because it was an absolutely dramatic finish. You, as far as I know, you're new to this league, and you were right there with your teammates for the entirety of the race. Have you driven the GT3 cars a lot?
You know what? I'll be honest, the GT3 cars are my biggest, weakest link in iRacing. They really are. I struggle with them. But I like to say I've got quite a bit of time in them anyway. I also have quite a bit of time in the Macca and quite a bit of time around Interlagos in the Macca as well, which is a weird combination. So I think probably the reason why I've managed to keep up is because I know that track well in that car.
Very good. Yeah, you were certainly quick. We were wondering aloud during the broadcast a few times what the sort of team orders, if there were any, were amongst the three of you running at the front, because you guys were doing some absolutely impressive formation driving, and you did switch places around a few times amongst the three of you, but we didn't really know if that was just a pace thing or if that was some multi-21 action going on between the three of you. So I don't know if you can give us some insight into what the team chat was like there.
A little bit of multi-21. I literally stayed in that third spot for most of the time. I felt the most comfortable there. Tice, the leader, who was he pit really early after his first stop. He was generally the most important out of us three to do well. But he'd managed to absolutely thrash his tyres, his fronts in the first stint, which is why he came back in. But there was a bit of swapping, a bit of fuel saving, just to try and get us to the end. But it looks like I was the only one who made it on the one stop. But I think that was probably because I sat in P3 for most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had speculated because we saw Tice take tires on his pit stop. We weren't sure if he had a flat or just was really worked his way through them. I knew the McLaren was hard on tires. I did a little testing beforehand, but it seemed like you two had managed your tires all right. So it was we were a bit surprised that Tice had been that much harder on them than the other two of you.
Yeah, I think he was basically pushing, and me and Carl were just kind of helping ourselves to a little bit of draft most of the time. So I think obviously if one of us two had been in front and he'd sat behind us, I think he would have been easier on his tyres, but he did really go through them in that first stint. When he came back out, he was struggling. So I think he only took fronts when he pit the second time. But it was needed, otherwise he would have just dropped like a rock.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think we saw him fight his way back through pretty well. He got up to 5th in the end, which was impressive given the extra stop on everybody up front. But as we saw through most of the race, you guys certainly had the pace. So are we going to see you again in this series in the remaining few rounds this season?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it. Whether or not I'll be as competitive as I was today, I don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see. But really enjoyed it. It's good to get into some good league racing. I haven't really done a lot. So yeah, definitely, absolutely.
That's good to hear. Yeah, you were certainly impressive today. Do you have anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we send you off here?
Just thanks to the team. A great team to be a part of. I don't know if anyone I actually know is watching the stream, but if you are, then you know who you are. I love you all. Yeah, let's get the next one.
Very good. Thanks again to our 2nd place finisher, Dan Crossley.
Thank you.
And he's gone. Right then, next I'm going to bring in, if I can find the right buttons again, Adam Watson. So, good evening, Adam.
Hello.
Very unfortunate start for you, a disconnect.
Yeah, the game just crashed on me.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm going to put this in massive inverted commas. Luckily for you, there was a gigantic pile-up at turn 3, which brought out the mandatory caution for crowded track. So that kind of saved you. You got your wave round because race direction waved you through. And then Tyler said he started at the back, but he's now in 17th place. You must have overtaken about 10 cars before the start-finish line. What was that about?
So, Luca, one of the other Paceway cars, had spun. I don't know if he had contact, so he had spun, and so I just kept it pinned all the way, just full throttle, passing everyone down into turn 1.
Luca turned himself, because we watched that just to be sure. So he was on his own, don't know what happened, but he collided with the left-hand wall approaching pit lane. So you just nailed it past about 10 cars before turn 1. That's good going.
I was technically next to the pit wall, just all the way down the left-hand side into turn 1.
That's impressive stuff and brave. And yours was probably the most dramatic of recovery drives. You've got yourself back to 8th overall, I think that is. Which saves you a whole load of points versus the guys that you could have been behind. And you were picking people off and putting them down like ready money. It was brilliant to watch, to be honest. Sure. You got mullered by a back marker, I understand from the chat.
Yeah, so as I was coming down the downhill left-hander, I was back marker, and then all of a sudden he just stopped in front of me. I don't know why, and I was like, oh, well, I have nowhere else to go. And obviously with all the other incidents going on, like at the start, I hit 20x, so I had to do a drive-through.
Yeah. All right. Yep. We did wonder why you were seen in the pits. There was a vicious rumor that you'd been there again. So did you manage to do it technically on a one-stop? I mean, we know you pitted before they went green again, and we suspected that you were just topping off the tank, so that you had more in it and could go further than the rest of the field. So was it a one-stop strategy from that point on for you?
Well, yeah, so when I caught back, I was like, well, I'm not going to lose anything with the lap to go, and because still in the safety car, so I'll just pit, see what happens, try and stretch out, because if I have to pit again, then I can take less fuel. But I wasn't expecting to not have to pit.
Right.
I was just wondering, well, let's see how far I can go. And then got to the second stint, and then it just said, race laps calculator just said, don't have to pit again. And then it was just going from there. But as soon as I came out of the pits, I had no tyres.
Right.
But
Shocking.
the whole car was just dead.
Right. Weird.
You had a hell of an adventure today, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it was an up and down race. I feel like if I didn't have the disconnect, I could have probably got a top 3, maybe even the win.
You know, we were talking about that earlier. all of us that have a little racing experience say there's nothing worse than having a technical thing like that. I mean, if you slide off the track and you bin it, that's you can deal with that. But when you lose your internet or whatever, that really sucks. I'll tell you.
Don't tell him who picked him for the win and cursed him.
Yeah.
I didn't pick him.
No, I did.
No, I did.
Oh no, you did. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
I was after Jamie. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So Tyler's cursed you. So there you go. Right. So yeah, I mean, fantastic racing. You probably didn't finish where you wanted to, but given the way it started, I'd be happy with that. Well, I'd be happy with in the first half of the field. But there you go.
I am really happy about the result, and because it was fun picking my way through the field, and then I could just as you come out of turn 4, I could see Tyson, Carl, and Dan. Just there, I was like, "Come on, let's try and keep this gap."
Yep. That's all you can tell yourself at that point. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go?
Just the whole team, the whole Pacewick Esports team, and all the sponsors that come with it.
Awesome stuff. Well, congratulations. I am saying that as a congratulations for your 8th place finish. Adam Watson.
Thank you.
Nice job, innit? Right then, who's next? It's got to be this job. I'm going to bring in Marcus Bletz for you, Tyler.
All right.
And he should be in the booth now.
Marcus, you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, guys.
Very good. Marcus, it seemed today like you were a victim of the VTS fuel calculator, which seemed to be a bit short for just about everybody on your team, unfortunately.
Yeah, actually, we were not expecting that the safety car was enough to go to one stop, but yeah, that's a little bit of a miscalculation, sure.
I see. So you guys were all intending to make a two-stop race happen, and just didn't put enough fuel in. Is that what it was?
Oh, the fuel amount was all in each stop and also at the start, but the main goal was, or the main expectation was, that there will be a safety car, a random safety car, not a regular safety car, due to a big pileup in the first lap.
I see. That makes sense. Yeah, we did see you and your teammates struggle just a little bit with that. We also seem to... It's interesting because we saw the BMWs kind of towards the back of the pro field, but we saw the AM field dominated by BMWs. Were you guys using an old setup, or was this a new attempt based on the changes that iRacing's made?
Actually, it was a modified setup from, I don't know which track, but more or less the old base, sure.
Interesting. So, did you think the pace was down to the car, or were you just... Is it just not a track that you agree with?
Basically, we were quite okay. For sure, it's a big unknown terrain now, where the BMW is just out of focus from iRacing, so we don't know how it stands compared to the other cars. So it was the last time we drove the BMW now, as I understand it correctly, and we will see what we will end up the next time.
Yeah, do you have any sense? I know Stefan, one of your teammates, runs the Mercedes. Is that the plan, or are you going to look at all the GT3 cars available for you before making a choice?
Actually, I think the Mercedes is not our plan, because we drove it in one of the training sessions, and it's actually slower than the BMW. So I don't think the Mercedes is an option. Also, I have it. So yeah, we will see. Maybe the Lambo, maybe the new BMW. We will see what happens.
Very good. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go here, Marcus?
Yeah, Marco will be next, and to Clyde, I changed my targets now, so V8 Supercars is not anymore in your broadcast, so I need to beat Marco in GT3.
Yeah.
Then you have your running gag again.
Very good. Thanks so much, Marcus Bletz.
Yeah, see you guys. Bye.
He's a nice chap. Hopefully Marco Lewert will unmute himself, because he's currently muted.
He just did, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, that's good then. He must be listening. Good evening, Marco.
Hi.
Hi. Well, you've got a lot of footage tonight. Let's put it that way. You were scrapping with Marcus and Ben Cullen for a while, I think. Carl Hardy for a while, I also think. And very exciting race for you.
Yeah, it was not like expected, but I had some nice fights, especially with Barry in the Ferrari. And yeah, I was surprised that he could drive his first stint much longer than we could. And then, yeah, towards at the last third of the race, I was, after my spin, I was switching to fuel safe, and I made it with one. But I had I had to save so much fuel that I was lapped.
Yeah, we saw. Yeah, I think it was you going slowly in order to save fuel. And all the VTS guys, as we discussed with Marcus, seem to suffer from the same fuel problem. Because a lot of you had to pit, including Jeremiah, before the end of the race in order to make it to the end, or fuel save, of course.
Yeah, to be honest, I did not spend any time on fuel calculation. There was so much discussion driving the Z4 or another car, or changing or not changing, so that we expected 2 stops and did not make, or at least I did not make any fuel calculations. That was a big mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, and the safety car that got launched when the track was impassable, did that affect you?
No.
No, you were ahead of that.
No, I had no accident, but I was not happy with both starts, I have to say.
Oh, right, okay.
So the first start was absolutely not okay. We nearly stopped, and
Yeah, it was mayhem.
and the distance towards the safety car was much too big. So in a real race, you would get a penalty for this. And the restart was also a little bit strange. So we had no accident or so, but they were accelerating at the front, and yeah, Ben could overtake us at the restart because we were just braking, and he was accelerating when the green light came. But he was faster anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, very exciting race. You probably didn't finish where you wanted to, and that's for a number of different reasons. Fuel being one of them. But from our position as commentators and as viewers, without a doubt, very exciting and entertaining race from you. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, and I wish you a Merry Christmas.
Oh yeah, it's Christmas time. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think we do not talk each other, or perhaps on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm doing a guest start in the GT4.
Oh,
so
really?
We'll see us there. Yeah.
Oh, a new target for me. Excellent.
Oh, so we can pick on you on Wednesday too, huh? Good.
Yeah, awesome. Nice one. Well, I'm in that race, so watch out. Anybody else you'd like to thank before we let you go, Marco?
Yeah, I thank you. Like I said, I wish everyone a nice Christmas. In case of we do not hear each other or talk with each other, and my team, I think we will have a lot of talking now. How to continue, and our viewers in the stream for sure.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Marco Lower.
Okay, bye.
So, tremendously exciting race. I don't think I remember commentating on a finish that was that close. We've already said about what we thought of the race, but if you want to say anything else about the guys, Tyler, you got anything else to say?
I think we've about covered it. It was just a fantastic race. Great to see Martin challenge the Paceworks guys when it looked like they were going to run away with it for a bit there. And great to see Ben get the win in AM.
Is it though?
I don't actually have any beef with Ben.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I wish he'd lay off me, but it's fair. I deserve it.
And Bill,
pretty much everything both of you have said. It really was very, very exciting. A lot of times when we go to a new build with iRacing, we have some difficulties. And, there were a lot of people kind of skeptic of what was going to happen. I'll tell you, it was a darn close race. It really was. I mean, a lot of scrapping, a lot of battles. Nobody really, off song per se. I mean, all the cars seemed pretty competitive just the way they are. And I thought it was wonderful. It was one of the best races I've ever worked for sure. Probably is the best. I mean, as far as the finish, absolutely great. And even though Ben only likes Sam, I'll still congratulate him too for the win. And really to Martin Van Sluben, excellent patience and was there just at the right time. And congratulations to him. That was really a great race, for sure.
And just to put everything into perspective for the viewers that are still watching, there was 0.003 of a second. Hang on, no, 0.03 of a second that separated first and second. So
that's amazing.
I know that I've not seen a race that close. That
after 90 minutes, pretty incredible.
Yeah, that is impressive, and only 0.25 of a second covering the first three places. So again, amazing, and by far the closest finish at the top I've commentated on. So BSTV, what we're doing for you on Wednesday, we've got the GT4 TCR race. I fail to remember where that is, even though I'm racing in it. We don't have a race on Friday, or do we, Bill? I can't remember. We do.
Yeah, we do. We got
the next racing.
Oh, that's right. Yes, next level.
And just so you know, it's Spa again for the GT4 TCR, the same as Saturday.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
good.
We know why you try to forget about this race, but still.
Yeah, I can spin in all the same places that I did just yesterday. Okay, well that's good. So tune in for all of those. I'm going to say goodnight now because I'm knackered. That was a very tiring race to commentate on, even if I wasn't racing. And I'll let the other guys say goodnight as well. But do tune in for all our other stuff. Buy some of our merchandise. Make us rich and famous. And we will see you next time. It's a good night from me.
Okay, good night, everybody. And it was a pleasure to work with my colleagues, Pete, Tyler, and Sam. And one hell of a race. I'm glad I was here. Glad I didn't miss it. So, and thanks for the people that tuned in. And we like you, Ben, really. So congratulations to Ben and Martin Van Sluven. Really, the guys on the podiums. Excellent job. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Congrats again to Martin and Ben, and hopefully we see you all next time.
Yep, thanks for watching, everyone. See you next week on Wednesday. Don't forget to tune in to see Pete crashes. Bye.